When a man's determined, and he has no other plans for the evening, there's much he can do.
Honestly, I'd love to learn from you.
Welcome on in. We are live all around the country, all around the world, broadcasting here on D Live with a couple of lads and a lady.
Woo! Woo!
What's going down, everybody? We are
G'day.
going to be playing the Open Seas module, a module by Otter Games. Here, he's a great guy. And
He's alright.
we have
Wonderful
our
guy.
three fantastic, charismatic, creative, and many other adjective-wise
Downright beautiful.
Slightly tired.
slightly tired crew here.
Running on fumes. Many adjectives could be used.
So we've got Red, Bein, and Miguel as the characters that we'll be playing. And let's jump straight into it, seeing as we're a little late off the bat here. Now, last we left off, we were drowning.
We were.
Everyone was drowning. And Bone Nora was also there, who has
Haven't
disappeared
drowned yet, it
because
was
I was messing with him in another area of mappage. Alright, so we'll put him down there. Alright.
Why is Bernora holding one of my instruments?
The best kobold image I have.
Okay.
I have not yet got a proper image for Bone Nora.
I just trust him so little. I'm worried his avatar is
That's
stealing from me.
amazing. That's
Just
the
imagine
idea.
that he's holding a fishing pole, or a net,
Okay. Or a squid.
or a rock.
With a squid. Is squid.
Is squeeze.
So while Red is gone, you'll have my giant twin face.
A giant twin face indeed. Yeah, that's what
Perfect.
we've got for the time being. We are under the water in a long cave. We've already gone in about 3-4 hours travel,
Mhm.
and you have decided to go with your packs trying to swim in however long this tunnel is going to be underwater for, which, if I remember correctly, Bone Nora described as if is house on big stilts, go in through 2 times, then on 3rd time halfway is there, no squid.
Precise.
I think the
Got
no
it.
squid might have been in the middle there when in regards to stilts, but that's roughly it.
We won't be attacked by tentacles.
Yeah, hopefully not. Now, the good news is that you two boys
Boy.
have caught up a little bit under the water here, and it's quite dark under here. But you can still feel the water from the kicking and pushing of water ahead of you being closer, so you can sense sort of that something is in front of you. You presume it's the people that you just saw. Might
Can
not be.
Can I sense like a current in the water? Is there any kind of current leading us anywhere?
Yes, so there is a
Ooh.
slight current against you.
Okay. Oh, that's
Very
interesting.
slight. Bone Nora has fallen back to next to Miguel in pace, and Bien has caught up with them. They're all kind of just pushing against each other in this this section, and it's getting real hard to swim while you've got your packs on, while you're all
Yeah.
tightly packed like that. Maybe even dangerous.
Mm.
So you can decide to continue as you are, or you can change it up and do something else, but you must continue or turn back if you want to leave.
Hey, so who's having the most trouble right now? Miguel.
All of the 3 in this pack here are struggling to swim next to each other because you've bunched up under the water
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
with your big packs on.
What I might do is I might duck down and allow Bien to go over the top of me, and I'll push. I might push him, and can I kind of?
You're gonna
with
try and
Bonora-
propel them.
Yeah, I'm trying to go push him and Bone Nora. I'm just gonna give you like a shove, and then
Mhm.
I'm gonna try and swim back the way we came.
Yep. Alright, so you're
Sounds
gonna
good.
go back towards the start.
Yeah, but I'm gonna push those two on, and then I'm gonna have to figure out another way.
Hmm. So Miguel is now heading back the way he came on
Yes.
a trajectory to get back out of the water.
Yeah, I'm going to, as I push them, I'm gonna signal them like a thumbs up.
It's pitch
But
black.
oh, okay.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Okay, well, this is gonna be confusing for everybody.
Can't join them.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I will swim back for the time being. I'm gonna have to reattempt this.
I'm going to suggest tying a rope to each other just in case.
It's too dark. I think it's too late
No,
to tie a
but
rope.
like we're not that far in. It'll be easier to swim out and tie a rope.
Can we
And then
communicate?
try-
this underwater?
unfortunately, without any communication or visual
It's a hard idea to convey to
communication,
us.
you
Bien
have
is
this
definitely
thought a little too late.
Bien's definitely swimming as hard as he can to get through to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Like that song, "Break on through to the
To
other side."
All right. So basing it off your rolls so far, you continue to swim, and Miguel continues to swim further back.
Just to where
The-
there's air. Just
Yep.
to where there's air.
The front group, I want you to roll another. Actually, everyone just do it for expediency. Just roll another athletics. Which you're
Oh,
rolling a lot of right.
No.
Oh no.
All right.
So you just say dirt roll another? Is it...
Yeah, I'm pretty
That's not
sure.
good. Bien.
Mhm.
The swimming has been difficult. Far more difficult
Mhm.
than you imagined.
Yeah, accordions get heavy when they get wet.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
You have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You can ditch your gear, or you can push forward, trying to use every ounce of strength in your body to get through with this pack.
Yes,
There may be negative effects if you do that.
The second option.
You press forward, taking a point of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
Miguel, how did you do? You're struggling at the back as well.
I'm just struggling to swim.
Yeah. So the pack is getting
Whoa.
heavier. The water is pitch black. You're a bit disoriented. You think you turned around. You're not sure how far it's going to be till the end. You can continue as is, or you can drop your
Yeah.
pack if you feel like you're struggling too much.
No. How long until I can find some air?
You don't know. You have
Yeah.
a rough estimate of how long
the-
you swam to get there,
Yeah.
and you
okay.
have a rough estimate of how long it'll take to get back based on that.
Yeah. I think once I've turned back once, I can't turn around. I have to commit to going back.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna just follow along the wall and try and use the wall to kind of pull me back so I can attempt it another time. I just need more air.
Good
Oh,
checks all round, and the crew advances quite steadily through the water. The pack's not weighing you down too much. One more athletics check, and I'll base that off how you're going to do for the rest of this swim. All right. You swim for a while, and you start to struggle. 6 seconds pass. You're still struggling. Another roughly 6 seconds pass. Your breath is starting to ache to be taken. Your lungs are hurting. Your muscles are becoming sore from swimming so long without breathing properly.
ew.
You're really struggling.
Okay, I'm gonna have to just keep pushing because I don't have any choice. So I'm gonna take whatever damage it takes to get me back.
Okay. You take 1 point of damage
Yep.
as you begin to drown and water enters into your lungs as you accidentally gasp. And then your hand breaches the water and you come
Oh.
up on the other side, but you can't see anything. It's pitch black, but you can breathe.
Yep, that's all right. I'm gonna wade over. Oh, yeah, it goes to the others. I'll wade over.
You can hear water running down the cave, but that's all you can hear. And you're breathing, echoing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna wade over to the edge of the water.
Mhm.
Over there. I'm gonna take my sopping wet clothes out and try and wring as much water out as I can and I'm basically gonna strip down to my underpants,
Mhm.
undergarments, fold everything else up into like tie everything else to like a wet section of my pack and try and bundle it together. And I'm
Yep.
gonna wait for a minute, catch my breath, and get ready to come back. Give it
Wonderful.
another go. So,
All right,
yeah,
team up the
I
front.
prefer to cook.
One more athletics check, just like Gruff, and you're gonna base that. We're gonna base that on how you do for the rest of this swim.
Ooh.
This will be where I really F up. I'm not so good.
I mean, this is a 20th athletics roll.
What do you know? A 4.
Oh,
I
Alright.
have literally rolled like 16s, 17s, 19s this entire time.
Bone Nora
That's
shoots
bullcrap.
past you.
Dumb.
Bone Nora shoots past you, and you can feel the current of someone passing. You assume it's Bone Nora because you feel tiny little kobold claws swim past, accidentally bumping each of you. Begin to struggle at different rates, but you're both struggling quite badly. Red and Bien, you swim for another 12 seconds before your lungs begin to ache. What's your constitution scores?
9?
And Red?
+2. Or +1. +1.
What's the base score
Oops,
though?
hang on. That's what I want to do.
12.
Alright. Whew. Bien, you start to drown.
Uh-oh.
You take one
What does
point
that
of
look
damage
Okay.
as water enters your lungs and you begin to breathe like the fish do.
Okay. In case you're not aware, I have 1 hit point left.
Yep. Yep. Alright, Red, you push forward and you take another. You take a point of damage as well as you start to drown, but just like Miguel, your hand breaches the water at the other side, and you gasp for air coming up at the other side of the cave. Gotcha.
Put the
I put it on for you.
health on my page.
It should be under wounds.
It's the wound box. You keep adding to that until it
Ah.
equates
Got a
your
little green
HP.
one in it now.
Right, okay. It's green on my screen. Very, very impossible to see.
Don't worry, it becomes red when it's more important.
I can only just see it.
Alright,
Yeah.
so you've come out the other side. Bien is still struggling. Can I get a constitution save from Bien?
Yes!
Alright. You hold your breath, even though there's nothing to hold, and you come out on the other side. Bone
Look up at
Nora.
Red and I'm like, you some kind of Valkyrie? Mermaid Valkyrie. So Bien crawls out and says, are you some kind of mermaid Valkyrie? And collapses. And what does Red do?
What did I say? Grew up on the seas, baby, and finger guns.
Even though it's pitch black.
Is there not a little bit of light here?
No.
Okay. Maybe that's why she finger guns.
I mean-
she knows Bien can't see.
That only makes it better, in my opinion. Alright, so you guys swim to where you can stand normally, and Bone Nora says, come, come, and he grabs you by the hands and he says, we move.
I just need a moment to catch my breath. I just spitting up water as I kind of lean over the rock wall.
Mhm.
But I move away from the water, so I'm not going to be tempted to get back in anytime soon.
Bone Nora clamors for each of your hands and puts them in the water, and he says, feel, water is getting stronger.
I start limping weakly down the corridor.
Only 2. Where's in... Oh no. Where is?
Bien slowly realizes what Bonora is realizing, and Bien curses in Sylvan.
Will he make through?
He bloody well better make it through after what we just went through.
Sitting at the shore on the other side, the water is pouring past your ankles.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's like increased since I have left.
Yes.
Okay, this is concerning. All right, so I've got no time to waste. I've tried to make everything.
So you sat
better.
there and you felt it start to increase.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to now come at this with a new strategy. So
Mhm.
as I come in now, I've basically, since I've stripped down, I'm going to try to make myself a bit more streamlined. I'm also going to this time. Can I argue to
Yes.
use my acrobatics? Because what I plan on doing now is kind of propelling myself instead of trying to swim awkwardly with the pack and with everything. I'm going to swim on the surface for as long as I can, and then I'm going to use the walls of the cavern to kind of pull myself and jump off under the water and just kind of shoot from one side of the cavern to the other and try and like swim that way. So it'll be more acrobatics
I'll give you that.
than straight
Yep.
strength check.
That sounds
Is that
relatively
okay?
more acrobatic than last time. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Am I able to assist him by casting Mage Hand and using what little light Mage Hand gives off as being a spell to
It
try
doesn't
and guide
actually give off light, it's just ethereal.
Okay.
Unfortunately. I would love to give you that, but it does not.
Have you got any other spells?
Nope.
Because that is really cool.
Nothing.
Nothing else.
Unless you want to die of laughing whilst also drowning.
Well, I mean, if I'm gonna go, can you do that? We have that as a trade.
Alright, so Miguel, let's get one final acrobatics roll. Or actually, I'll give you a choice. You can have one roll, or you can have 3. Which one do you want?
Definitely better off with 3 than 1.
Alright. Hedging your bet.
I'm gonna kind of like do my first swim. I'm gonna swim out and push off one side with that 21 roll.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel the current kind of coming, but I'm grabbing the rocks on the side and pushing myself along. And then I'm going to oh gee,
Not bad.
all right, so then I'm gonna like kind of squeeze around you, find from one other side of the cave, and kind of push myself really strongly against there. All these like kind of carrying
Spins and
the
kicks.
backpack behind it. Yeah, that's right. So it's all kind of kicking and spinning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That is some impressive rolling.
my body is streamlined. I am part fish, part man. Yeah.
Are you also spinning your spear like a propeller?
Oh yes. Yeah. I'm
Nice.
also spinning my spear like a propeller.
You hear a large splash coming from the water behind you, and the gasping of a man.
I told you he'd be fine.
Yeah, what are you worried about me for? I'm alright.
Bonora says to you guys, hold on, let me just check one thing.
Whoa, man, it's dark up here.
This was nothing. We were nearly drowned at the bathhouse once. Remember when we pissed off those elven traders?
That was certainly more fun than this one.
Come on. Water is very, very, very fast.
Okay, alright. Yeah, so I rush up to where I hear the sound of the voice. Can I see anything?
Nothing.
Alright, I'm gonna rush it. I can't see anything. Bonora, where are you?
Just here. Standing. In the water.
Alright,
Just over here.
I'm gonna keep moving against the current towards his voice.
Yep, you bump into what you soon to realize is Red and Bien shortly ahead. You guys have collected yourselves and you're all together.
No one's realized that I'm naked yet, but you know that will come.
Can I whistle as I try to make our way through the tunnel to let Miguel know where we are? And in doing so, can I give
We're
him
literally right there. Oh, sorry.
bardic inspiration through my whistling? Within the next 10 minutes, the creature can roll a die and add the number rolled to one ability check.
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, that's cool. I like it.
Over here, Miguel, and I whistle a song we would whistle when we're out on a job as a young youth.
Alright, I whistle it back. Have you got a snapshot of that whistle?
Well, I can't whistle in real life, so I'm role-playing whistling here. This is a fantasy game where we're meant to try and do things we can't do in reality. Okay, that's me whistling, guys. I can whistle and talk at the same time.
I tried to make it not too loud so I didn't deafen everyone with microphones and whistling. All right.
That's true. That is a bad combination.
Do we want to tie a rope so we don't get lost?
So yeah,
Let's get out of this water first.
Miguel, if you do an ability check in the next 10 minutes, you can roll a d6 and add that to the check.
That's awesome.
Or
Really?
a saving throw. Yeah.
Thanks,
Pretty
bro.
handy. All right, so you guys come up onto what is kind of the shore of what was deeper, but the water is flowing consistently through this cave.
Oh, really? Okay. So even here where it's shallower.
Mm-hmm. It's flowing through. The cave has become but a river.
This is beginning to. This is
But a river.
Sounds awful.
This is beginning to feel a bit like a death trap. Let's hurry up through here.
I guess as we walk, I kick one of the minecart tracks beneath my feet. Am I able to feel around with my foot for any minecarts lying around?
You can feel around to see what you can detect. Yeah, for sure.
Investigate with disadvantage or something?
Yep. Yeah, that sounds good.
Right.
You touch these minecart tracks, which you can kind of tell is metal and it's spaced out enough, but you don't want to touch it too much because it's really rusty. Really rusty.
I don't want to get tetanus.
Like it's almost exclusively rust.
Right, I need more redstone to make them work.
So from this point onwards, we're going to abandon said map. It has served its purpose.
Ooh.
And we'll go back to Theatre of the Mind for a time.
Ooh.
So, the water's flowing. You guys have made it under the dangerous submerged section. It is now probably about 4 hours since you set into this mine. And you are wet. You are
Very wet.
tired. Some of you are still coughing up bits of water, which tastes just like everything else has tasted on this disgusting path up to the mountain, which is that metallic taste that tastes like you've just got punched in the mouth.
Remember that tastes all too well being beyond.
And now you're trudging through what is ankle-high water, or for Bone Nora, knee-high water. And you are in complete darkness.
Alright, I'll make
you
sure
can't see this. Oh, sorry, you go.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'll take Bein by the hand and just kind of pull him along, helping him out. And try and stay right behind Bone Nora.
I'm a little bit reluctant, but I accept it. But with my other hand, I'm trying to hold my shorts as bunched up as possible. Trying to not let my pantaloons get wet.
Alrighty, so you're not going to attempt to light any sources of light?
Well, wouldn't it be difficult if our torches would be wet?
Yeah, I feel like
It will
everything's
be
still
very
wet.
difficult, but if you packed your packs very well,
better.
there may be something usable, but you don't have to try.
In the dark, I kind of hiss at Bernor, and I'm like, "Are you not like a little bit dragon? Can you not like breathe a little bit of fire or something, even a little spark?"
You hear some grumpy footsteps in the water ahead. Splump, 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 splump. As he stomps a little more angrily.
I think that might be a sore point.
I'd be sore too if I had to contend with Dragonborn.
All right.
Would we roll to see if like anything potentially stay dry in terms of like torches or whatever, or like how do you want us to do that if we wanted to?
Do you
So,
want to like fetch your bag?
you guys
I mean-
rolled for packing your bags last time, and I do recall roughly how well that went. You can try and get into your bags. There is water all over the floor at ankle height. So, if you put your packs down, they're going to get drenched on the bottom, which they probably already have been while swimming. But you could try and unpack it and see what's in the center and what you preserved. See if it's still good.
Yeah, I feel like we definitely, since we knew we were going to swim, we would try. Oh, I know what I should have done.
Is that like a cave fish, like a minnow that I can kill and gain just enough experience to tip me over the level up and get a new spell? That would be handy right now.
Unfortunately, no, there is not.
I see.
Not that you detect.
Dang.
It's sneaking up with a rapier and a sneak attack level 3.
I wanted to be killed by that fish.
Shoot a fish. Just... then the fish levels up and gets a new spell. Alright. So,
I know what I'm gonna do.
who's
next
checking their
time.
pack?
I will. I'll check it real quick. I realize what I should have done now is actually empty my water skin and probably put a torch in the water skin.
You do have a torch that is damp, not drenched, and your tinderbox is more or less intact. A little bit of water seeped in, but because of how you packed it, it was pretty good.
I'm gonna be like, Bernora, I have to light this. We have to be able to see.
What?
Just give us 1 second.
What mean?
We can't see.
Just this way.
I'm coming.
Says
1
can't
second.
see, I can see. There's a big dark cave. Come on.
You don't live in
There's
caves, you
nothing-
Neanderthal.
There's
Our
nothing
eyes
to
are not as
see.
good.
He grumbles as you waste time, in his opinion, lighting a torch. And then after probably about 10 minutes of trying to get this damp torch going,
Oh my god.
it starts to light, but it's sputtering, it's making a lot of noise because it's got water all through it.
Ugh.
And it's not
Alright.
making as much light as it would. But you can see a
Yeah.
dark cave with purple hues all throughout, bouncing off the water below, and it's quite an eerie sight.
Yeah, okay. Well, some light's better than none.
Yes, it is. You guys
No,
push
wait,
on forward,
Mhm.
and after 40 minutes, roughly, give or take, there is a source of light ahead.
Ooh.
Hmm?
But the
Oh.
water is rushing even more strongly at this point.
Really?
Yep,
How
Bien
high is
starts
it?
wading as fast
It's
as he can.
just under your knees, or for Bone Nora,
Oh.
not touching him as he has climbed one of you.
Okay, yeah, I'll let him up on me. I'll let him up
Yep.
on me.
Bone Nora, throughout the trial of pushing through the water, was starting to fall behind, and Miguel
Yeah.
just scoops him up and puts him on his shoulder. And
Yes.
Bone Nora goes, oh, oh, oh. And
Actually, I
says,
like to
"Thank
think
you."
that Miguel used the spear to like latch onto some of Bernora's clothes and like hoist- he's
Yeah, I
holding
like.
him like a swag behind him.
Yeah.
Alright. Very well.
I like
Bone Nora
hooking.
is far less pleased then.
I hook him, but I'm like carrying him up.
Yeah. So you've got your spear on your shoulder and him attached behind as he paddles like doggy paddle in the water behind.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold him out of the water.
But
No, I'm holding him up behind me.
ahead there's a light source, and as you get closer, this narrow passage opens up to a cylindrical tube of not rock, so a cylindrical gap that goes up for many, many, many feet and down into this miry purple depth of water.
Oh.
The cylinder has the whole way up water rushing down on all of the sides, on all of the walls, and on the
Is
far
it
side,
raining? Oh yeah.
on the far side, the tunnel that you're in continues.
Right.
So
Is
it's
it
as
raining?
if it seems to be. So from what you can tell, you look up and you can see the sky, and it looks dark
Mm-hmm.
and probably raining, but the rain itself doesn't hit the water in front of you. It's just running down the sides. So it's obviously a very tall cylinder with a very small, well, a very distant opening at the top, probably the
Yeah,
same size.
Okay.
Who would like to roll an investigation check to see what else they can tell about this area?
Ooh.
Who is curious? Who is most curious?
Miguel, maybe you should do it and use your bardic inspiration
That sounds
before
fantastic.
that runs out.
I'm very good.
This hole was made by a creature,
This hole was made by a creature.
gargantuan in size.
Guy,
I don't want to fight a purple worm.
This hole was made by a purple worm.
No!
Oh, whoa.
A what?
A what?
Miguel, you've heard a
Purple
story.
worm.
No!
You've heard a story of a giant worm that lives deep underground. A worm that cuts through stone like butter with its razor-sharp rings of teeth. And as you look up the outside of this tunnel, you can see the signature spiral carvings all the way up from the teeth, spiraling to the top of what must be a 500-foot cylinder from this point up. And who
Oh.
knows how deep below. But down there somewhere, presumably, at one
Just
point,
feel-
or maybe currently, is a purple worm.
You know what? I had a thought like
Ah.
last session or the session before, and I was like, everything's so purple. And there's a cave. I don't really know. It's all water.
However,
I don't want this.
Miguel, you have also noticed that this cylinder that's cut out is lined with iron. And the iron has begun rusting all over the walls. And running down the sides of the walls is red water.
Not purple water.
Red water that mixes with
blue
the water that's coming in from the top,
Yeah,
which is blue.
Aha.
which is what's causing the blight because it's all being.
You have
rusted.
found the source of the purple water.
As an inspiration to me.
Yeah,
An
Ian starts
inspiration.
listening as he's processing all of this.
Mhm.
He's pondering on the fact everything is drenched. He's miserable. He was sent into a mountain infested with so-called apparent purple worms, and not once did the people in the town consider that maybe the purple water plague they were having, maybe the purple grass they were growing had something to do with purple worms. Like, he's mad he's just finding out about the existence of purple worms, but he's mad that the townspeople didn't put two and two together themselves.
That's not what's causing it.
No, but well, the purple worms led to rust leaking in. In fact, he's even mad that the purple
No,
worm
the-
is not directly affecting the water. It's inconsequentially caused this problem and made the water purple.
Yep.
I think that's what Ian's most mad about, to be honest.
So what's happened? It's just clarify it.
Yep.
So, yeah.
The tunnel that has been drilled by the purple worm has been lined with iron. Right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Right.
So,
yeah,
and
this is a
traditionally,
mine.
the water that
Yeah.
flows down off the Blue Mountain Range with its crystal blue tops is
Mhm.
stained blue because of the mountains. However,
Yes.
because of the oxygenization of the iron in the wall,
Yes.
causing a red hue to flow into the water and to change its taste and properties,
But the
the water is purple.
iron was added after, presumably.
Also, the iron wouldn't explain the feral animals.
No,
No,
but
what-
the water is affecting everybody. Do you know what like iron poisoning is, right? Like, it's pretty bad.
Is it pretty
Like,
bad?
It's a slow poison.
It's a
I don't know,
bad,
I've never
it's a
been
bad
alcohol
problem.
poisoning.
This problem is pretty bad.
How many feet up is this opening hole?
Like 500.
You assume around 500. You could do an investigation check or a perception check to try and narrow that down to a closer number, but it's very high.
So that's a few more 100 feet than we have of rope, and then we have to propel a grappling hook up.
Yep, it's a big hole. But there is the opening on the other side, which continues on in a small, narrow passage.
Is that into the water again, or is that a separate passage?
That's up and out of the water. You can see the water
Okay.
doesn't flow up because this whole
Is there a
path
pool
has
of
been
water
leading up.
beneath us?
There is a pool of water in front of you, and it runs out and down the cave behind you.
Well, we're getting out of here, and I doubt we're getting out up that way, unless Bonora, how good are you at climbing?
I climb really good.
Well,
can you-
we do have some climbing equipment.
Can you climb up here, Bonora? And I point up to that hole.
No.
That's what I thought. All right. Not sure that
Bonora looks at the wall and he scratches it with his nail and he goes, "It looks sharp."
Mm. So okay, so hang on, let me just get it straight. We've come to the mouth of our cave, which opens into the big cylinder cave.
Yep.
And
that
flowing-
cylinder has probably been filling with water for the past century, since people did not return from the mines nigh on 100 years ago.
That's actually a good question. Is those people still never returned from the mines, but two groups of people didn't return. You would think we would have seen some sign of them as we'd come in, if there'd been a cave collapse or if there'd been something.
Well, it might have been further in. B, purple worms still might exist, or other things still might exist further in and have consumed or eroded away, or they may have fallen down, or things like that. We haven't really gotten that far into the cave.
Right. So could we swim to the other side?
So it would have gone pretty
You could
deep.
easily swim to the other side of this pool of water.
To where the
only
cave
part
continues
of
on.
the big circular pool of water in front of you that is like flowing rapidly is going past and back out the way you're coming. So it's not dangerous to swim in there unless something's underneath you.
Yeah. Yeah. In real life, I do not like swimming over large, empty holes.
Yeah, me too.
It's just one of
Get a
my
little bit of
fears.
thalassophobia.
Is that what that's called?
Fear of deep and open water.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. That makes my toes tingle.
Yep.
Just thinking about it, just like just like infinite emptiness underneath me. Right.
Bonora looks into the pool of water and says, no squid.
Yeah, no squid.
Bien's going to dry ground as fast as he can. He is so sick of his
Yep.
being wet.
Are you going to try and climb around the outside or swim across? The outside is very sharp. The swim across is very easy.
Yeah, and I think our only way forward is across this water.
Alright, so everyone's going to swim across this big, ominous pool of purple water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might swim along the edge.
Okay. You all swim across and make it to the other side. Miguel gets there last, which he does not feel good about. Actually, the dry section is like 5 feet up, so you did have to climb this sharp section of rock. So roll an athletics check to see how you do at climbing this.
Sure. Can I kind of like lean on one bit and push off with another and call it an acrobatics?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think that's foreseeable.
Oof.
Ow!
Are any of you using anything to help yourself get up onto this ledge?
I'm swimming across.
No. You don't understand.
We've got to the other side.
So you're on the other side of the...
You have to climb up to the higher part.
5 foot.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got a diagonal tunnel in a cylindrical tube. So one side is higher than the other.
I would do the others' climbs first. I know what I'm going to do after they've climbed.
Alright. So, Miguel,
Yep.
you've attempted to climb with your spear,
Mm-hmm.
and you've fallen back in the water.
Ow.
You avoided taking serious damage by falling back into the water.
No. Good.
Red, you have tried climbing up with your hands?
Hold on. Where is all of our climbing stuff? Or
I've got it. I've got it.
That? Okay, fair enough.
I've got it. I can get some like pittance out for you, but I
Yeah.
just don't want to drop my bag.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because if it was sharp and I knew that it was sharp, I don't think I would have.
No,
timed
that's
up
alright. You can redact it. I didn't give you the right information. That's my bad.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I don't have anything that would help.
These pittance, I'm gonna pull one out. I'll
Mhm.
say it's on the edge of my bag because
Yeah.
it's sharp,
That's
so
fine.
I wouldn't have. So I'll say I'll pull a few out and I'll kind of swim over to you. I'll be like, here, maybe we can jam some of these in and just use them as little handholds that are less brutal.
You probably only need in 5
Yeah,
feet. Hold
yeah,
on.
we might only need one or two, but just something to push in and
2 or
kick
3.
off.
I'm 5'4", so I had to measure up myself. Yeah, we'd need only like 2 or 3, to get up comfortably.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm gonna like swim over, jam one in at our entry height,
Mhm.
and then kind of
So
pull up.
kicking furiously, you
Yeah,
line a pitten up and grab like a mallet that you have for these pittons, because obviously you would have got the appropriate tool, and you smack until it gives way into the stone and then holds fast.
yeah. And then I'm gonna kind of like pull myself up a little bit. Remember that I'm not very well clothed.
Yep.
I'm gonna pull myself up a little bit and like
Your
lean
nips
half
hang near the razor sharp rusty wall.
and then I'm gonna kind of like put one foot on one of the loops of the pitten that's sticking out.
Yep.
And just to give myself a bit of a balance, and I'm gonna like hammer another one in.
Alright, so you make your way up with this more methodical method until you reach the top and carefully, slowly lift your legs over to avoid getting caught on the sharp edges. And then the rest of you follow suit, seeing how it's done.
Well, actually,
Yep.
Bein whistles to himself, not any magic whistling, but just regular whistling, snaps his finger, and has his mage hand go into his bag and pull out a grappling hook and rope.
Mhm.
And it just very casually, easily carries it up 5 feet, catches it behind one of the solid-looking rocks or metal pieces, and using the pittons as footholds to get a bit away from the rock, and using the rope, Bein kind of pulls himself up
Right
easily.
on.
I think Bein waits to go last, just
Okay.
Just to show
he's
off.
having a miserable time and watching his brother work so hard to ruggedly hammer in pittons half naked and dripping wet was too much fun for him.
Alrighty. So you guys all get up, and you're on the far side. The cave continues on past you.
Am I skilled enough in medicine to do a transplant of the bat heads that I'm carrying around, his cataracts and eyes? What are they called? Lenses, and put them in my own face? Is that a bit too high?
You want to put
No,
foul bat
No.
eyelids in your
Good
eye
idea.
sockets?
You know what? Let's continue walking down.
Okay, I would have allowed it just for the record.
Well,
Yeah.
Yep,
So
you
we
guys
can
can
rock-
try a short rest now if you like. The short rest succeeds. You
Yay!
wait for an hour. Your torch goes out swiftly, and you sit in mostly darkness with the sound of water trickling down the outsides of this cylinder.
Right,
that
before
you're
the
next
torch
to.
goes out, I want to try and light another one as I'm resting
Yep.
with the other one because it'll be a bigger flame. So
Yep.
I'll put a few torches next to each other so that they can kind of dry, and I'll just kind of like hold the torch as it goes. I'll just kind of spend my rest time holding the dying torch to dry the other ones.
Wonderful. Sounds
Why is
good.
it negative?
Talks to Miguel and says, "Doesn't this situation remind you of the time at the drow bar when they used the blindfolds on us?"
Oh, yeah, that was quite eventful. I remember there were some interesting smells.
Yes, who knew the Underdark was so stanky?
Ugh.
During the short rest,
don't.
Bone Nora pulls out a pouch that is sopping wet, and he throws it into the pool. Bloop. And it sinks.
Oh,
What was that?
Mud.
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 Yes.
Okay.
Was it mud before we were in the tunnel?
No.
So you've been carrying around a bag of dirt?
No.
Yeah, was it his spices?
It was dust. Now it is
Dust.
mud.
What is mud?
Why are you carrying around a bag of dust?
In case I don't have enough food, make food last longer.
Do you mean salt?
No, dust. As
Doesn't
cleaning
it-
house is collect dust, put in pouch. Now have dust. If get hunger, eat dust with squid. Last longer.
So squid dust.
Please,
So it
please,
turns
please
out
don't.
it turns out he did actually dust the house.
Please don't, Bonor. I've already spat out more fluids today. I doubt we want another flood in this tunnel.
I examined the ornate dagger that I found on the bats.
It has
Ooh.
a
Ornate it is.
it has a crimson red ruby on the end.
Oh man.
Sorry.
And it
Oh my
is
goodness.
it's also rose gold gilded.
Oh man.
On the outside it has patterns of a what seems to be a small ship, and the hilt that comes to where the blade is extends over the top of one side where it's I forget the word for it, but the front of the boat is gilded into it.
Sorry.
So it's quite fancy little knife. You know that wooden sticky bit out the front of a boat, which we all know the name of.
Alright.
The bowsprit.
Character.
That's what I'm trying to say. So on the bow, there's the bowsprit, which is that big wooden beam that pokes out in front of ships, very iconic. And that's
Yep.
what runs down the blade on one of the sides of the dagger.
This, it might just be fancy, cool, whatever. But does
Or
this
cursed,
like?
maybe.
Oh, that too. But also, in my 1 hour of examining it, if it was cursed or if it needed attunement, I may have done that already. However, you only need to do that with a short rest.
Mhm.
Like with my background, is it like infamous? Is it like special? Does it have any particular meaning to pirates, or because it's got a ship on it, or anything like that?
That's an excellent question. Would you like to roll
Yes.
a history check?
No.
She get advantage of
Oh,
it.
yeah!
Oh, she need it.
This is the infamous dagger of the
Whoa.
pirate who went by the name the Crimson Ghost, which I said the correct way the first time without at all getting anything wrong.
No, it's okay. Red is just because of her red hair.
Yeah. It's
Um,
actually your mother's dagger,
Yes. Okay.
which seems odd.
Very odd.
Where do we get
Which
this
is
from?
kind
Dum, dum,
Okay. I don't know what you're planning.
dum, dum, dum.
In my head, the hilt of one of her rapiers was inherited from her mother. But I'll take my mother's dagger as well.
Mhm.
That's cool. I
She probably
should
had
say
more
that.
than one weapon.
Yes, but
Yeah.
Yes, she was a lady of many weapons.
yes, she was.
All of them infamous for their own reasons.
Yeah.
Well, Ben doesn't know
confused.
this. This whole time has been very envious that she got the dagger. So next time I see a weapon that nice or matching that
It's
aesthetic,
also gonna be.
I'm gonna make sure that I get it.
You press onwards, and after maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, you can't really tell in the dark without a timepiece or the sun to go by. You come into an opening. So the thin cave opens up to a delta of other caves. There are
Oh no.
9 other openings, all with minecart tracks going through them, either up or down or continuing on. And there is a small dugout section of the wall in between these 9 possible tunnels, where there is a table and what seems to be a shredded or old document of sorts on it, with an inkwell which has clearly run dry long ago.
Ah.
There's also a
Bein,
few
come over
minecarts
here.
around.
What is it, brother?
Oh, we must read this. Whoever was here last has probably left some kind of map or
It's really...
something of these caves.
Is it readable in its current state?
It is potentially readable. It's very damaged. It's
Okay.
it's crumpled in on itself due to old age, and this parchment has become very brittle and very, very fragile.
So could I say that that Bein, with his ability to create these
with
master
my
forgeries, would be very
feature,
good at handling crunkled pieces of paper, like very delicate.
He'd be the best out of the
really
group, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Can I forge a better copy of this document?
You could
to
try
make
and
it more
copy it,
readable?
yes.
Yeah.
Your
Alright, I
forgery
do
kit
that.
will aid with that. However, some of the tools in your forgery kit have been water damaged, but not all of them.
Womp.
And the ones
What-
you
what?
require, the ones you require for this task, are usable.
Okay, cool.
So you will need to, when you get back to town, get some more parchment, as most of it has gotten drenched, or
Yeah,
try
okay.
and recover it by drying it out. Though,
Yeah.
if you're trying to,
Paper's pretty resilient. Old
if you're
parchment
trying
paper.
to make a fancy copy of something, you're gonna want better materials again.
3.5 used to have a forgery skill.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was uncontested by anything except forgery skill. And guess what? No creature in the
Ever
whole
had.
3.5
Yeah.
at any point in.
Yeah.
Way too specific.
That.
You manage
that
to
okay?
flatten out the map, which you work out is actually a map of the
Oh, it's a map.
caves, but some parts are so damaged that you can't copy them. Other parts you manage to work out what they're trying to indicate. So there's a few different areas in this map. One of them is a passage through to their iron mines. One of them is a passage that leads up to a what seems to be some kind of a shrine, but you can't really work out
Weird. What is a shrine doing up in a
what
mine?
it is doing in a mine. And there are a few other cave systems that apparently come out in other sections up on top of the mountain, which seem to be either unmarked or they haven't got their markings left.
As in their exits out of the caves?
Maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
You can see the path on the map for a few of them, but the other ones are too damaged to understand, and their destinations aren't clear.
How many passages would we have to choose out of those?
So you have, out of the ones that you recovered, you have about 4 that you could confidently...
4 potential exits?
For 4 that you could confidently travel down. Out of those that are exits, you're not sure. 2 of them might be exits or might be something completely different. One of them is definitely deeper into the mines, and one of them is leading to what you can only work out as the Blue Mountain Shrine. But
Wow.
that's all you got.
I highlight the ones that are potential exits, so not to the shrine and not to the mines.
Mhm.
And I say, all right, pick one of these guys.
Well, I have a question
Mhm.
in game.
Yes, Red.
Yep.
How is the purple water from the cave infecting the rest of the land?
I'm assuming the springs are connected to the mountain.
Yes.
Mystery solved.
Bonora pops up from under the table you've been working on and says, I found box. And he's holding
Ooh,
a
what's in
small wooden chest.
I take it from him.
He holds onto it. I found chest.
What's in the box?
Open it up, Bernora. Make sure you sing the theme.
He looks at the box and he says, is locked.
Alright. May I have a look at it?
Yeah. And he passes
Oh,
it to
look,
you.
I found a chest. I'm gonna smash it as hard as I can on the table on the lock side. Yeah.
Are you smashing the
On
box?
the inside of it.
Yeah, well, the lock.
Do you not know how to hold?
I'm
oh
trying
my
to smash the box.
You don't know how to handle
The lock. Sorry, I'm
Right.
trying to smash the lock on the
Oh
table.
my goodness. Why
Roll
don't we just
roll
look
an
for a key?
attack roll. Just a
Just roll a
improvised attack. Yep. All right. So you can now roll a a strength based on your damage. Sorry, a damage based on your strength. All right. So you've done 2 points of damage to the box here.
To the lock. I'm trying to smash the lock first.
All right. Very well. So it's an internal locking mechanism.
I do non-lethal damage to the
You
box.
do non-lethal. I see. And you smash it against the corner, and the box holds pretty firm. And you check the locking mechanism, and the
Mhm.
lock is undamaged.
Huh. That's annoying.
Bonora lightly takes the box in his hands while it's in yours and says, I
I
think
refuse.
I would take this back.
No, I don't give it back to him. I hold on. Hang on. We always try things 2 times before we give up. That was
At
my
least
first.
2.
You're going to break my box.
Let me show you why the pen is mightier than the sword. And I pull out one of my pens,
Uh-huh.
and I kind of gesture to Bonora that I'm not going to hurt the box this time. I'm going to try and undo the lock with my pen and my very skilled hands.
Bonora dumps the chest on the table, destroying the old map.
Okay. I think I made a copy.
And says, fine, try one more.
Alright. This time I'm going to take my pen, and this is the oldest trick in the book for me. I'm going to try and sleight of hand, use the pen to hit all the sweet spots and open it.
This
If
being
this fails, can I do something?
yeah, for sure. This being one of your thieves' tools.
No. This is being one of my disguise kit or forgery kit tools.
Okay.
Doing a sleight of hand roll. I guess whatever object would most resemble a lockpick.
I don't think that
Means-
counts as a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand. That's lockpicking a sleight of hand. If I
Yeah,
had said I
Is
Sleight of hand
lockpicking
is-
sleight of hand?
Yeah,
favor of the
sleight
would've
of hand kind of is more like manual, like little
All right.
dexterity, right?
Yes, with your hand,
I'll
yeah.
give you the sleight of hand check.
Oof, not
It's
a great
not
roll,
just
though.
pickpocketing, it's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
being dexterous and careful with your hand.
You take your pen and you push it in, and the lock slips open.
Oh,
Damn
there we
it.
go, Bonora. First dibs, and I open the box and show him the contents.
That shouldn't have worked.
All right.
Again. I have literal thieves' tools.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
I'm standing there swinging them around my finger, waiting for you to fail.
The
It's mightier than the thieves' tools, my dear.
the box
No.
inside it has a small oil lighter. It also has a potion, which does have a label, but the label is hard to read. Would you like to roll a perception check to see if you can work out what the label says?
Sure. Can I make a forgery of the label?
So roll that, and I'll tell you whether you can work that out. It is a cure minor wounds potion.
Oh.
Very handy. And
Very handy.
Are there only 2 things, or is there more?
under that potion is 20 silver pieces.
Oh.
Bonora
Oh,
has taken the 20 silver pieces.
Yes, I thought so. I'll take the lighter.
hmm
Um,
Bonora
feeling-
walks over to Red and passes
Mhm.
her 20 silver pieces.
Aww.
You is keeping all our monies, is not?
Yes, because I'm the treasurer.
hang on.
She gladly takes it and puts it into her money pouch.
One thing, Bonora wasn't there for that conversation.
I've
Oh,
said it
you have
multiple
had that
times on
conversation
record.
several
I've
times
said it
since then.
multiple times.
In fact, even Miguel has said it during this time since then. And Bonora says, "Good. I'll come back for them coin is when us have things getting.
Yes. Don't worry.
Then he stares at you blankly for a while.
Just
Alright.
kind of ruffle his head like you would a dog or a child.
He is displeased by this.
Won't do it again.
I do
Alrighty.
it.
So you got your potion?
I hand the potion to Miguel.
Okay.
I give the box to Red.
Oh, one more thing about the map that you copied.
Mhm.
In the top right section, you got one other word. The word is Eldath. So, Miguel, what have you been doing while this has been happening?
No, science is magic that we understand.
Kind of exploring one of the mouths to the caves,
Mhm.
and just trying to see, if there's been any evidence of activity that's come through here.
Each of these paths seems to be untraveled. A couple of them actually have been closed off due to cave-ins or similar things.
Mm-hmm.
But they all seem untraveled. There is one opening which, when you hold your torch in, the torch flickers more as the air presses through. But apart from that, nothing notable. You do, however, as you're holding your torch, find a minecart, and that minecart is full of dynamite.
Oh. I pocket some.
While holding an open flame, you handle the dynamite.
Carefully.
Could you roll a sleight of hand or a something for handling 100-year-old dynamite while holding an open flame?
I touch it.
All right. You have
What
not
is
exploded.
dynamite? Oh, excellent. I pocket. Oh, actually, maybe pocketing it's not smart.
Do you tell us
It's-
about your find, or
It's currently
you
in your pocket, one stick of dynamite.
In this, is it? Is this smart or is this stupid? I'm
what
gonna
is the
keep it in my pocket.
counter a dragon or a demon? That's a good way of-
Well, the thing is,
a
how are we?
fire
We have
elemental.
to consider. We have to consider a few things. How are we getting out? If we have to swim to get out of the cave, gonna get wet, gonna be useless. How are we going to carry this safely? If we're going to keep having flames because we can't see in the cave, it might not be a smart idea to have dynamite around. 3, could be super faulty or super volatile, depending on the type of dynamite that it is.
Are you saying this in character?
Yes.
Or it could be super fun.
I don't want to travel with you anymore.
Vienna,
Dynamite ruins ships.
Vienna feels a little bit dejected, but grabs one of the dynamite pieces and slips it into his bag.
I, from now on, am going to walk like 30 feet away from this group.
Bone Nora walks over to the dynamite and looks in and says, "It's just sticks."
Nope.
I put my hand on Bernora's shoulder and say, "Is boomsticks.
Big boom.
Big boomsticks."
He reaches in and grabs 5 sticks and shoves them into his bag. I have this boomsticks. And he smiles at you.
Careful, they might go boom in your bag.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you think Tiamat's morning breath is bad. You don't want to wake up those bad boys.
Oh no. He puts
Yeah.
back 5 dynamite sticks and steps away further than Red is currently standing. Eyes not take. That seems bad.
I would like to check out the shrine.
Are we not
Wow.
looking for a way out?
Well, look,
And
we are looking for a way out, but
But
while
also-
we're here, we might as well try and
treasure,
find out what happened to the others.
rings.
If we run
Alright,
into
sorry, Miguel. Red might have a point. Is this the point you're trying to make? She said offerings. What were you saying?
oh, sorry, Red.
Offerings. Tell us more about offerings.
Have you never seen a shrine before?
No, generally that's one of our least visited buildings in the town.
We've been
many offerings.
Around?
Gifts are given to
I've been
whatever
with
god.
shrine maidens.
We've certainly been around offerings.
Offerings.
That's where we've been,
Yes.
but not our own.
Well, let's go see if we can't cure. I don't know. Let's just go get the gold.
Let's go check out these offerings.
I don't know how
Just
to
go
offerings
get
do.
the
It doesn't make
gold.
sense to me to give perfectly good gold to a statue.
All right.
They start walking off, and Red just kind of goes.
It's archaeology. Yes.
I mean,
Ancient cultures being
you,
uncovered.
she's interested in this shrine for her own.
On the trail we blaze.
All right. So you guys are gonna try and navigate through this potentially very dangerous and windy cave, and get
Mhm.
to where you think the shrine is.
Yep.
Could
Um,
the
No, it's okay. This is not the way. I also tell everybody we try and work out which of the tunnels has the airflow, because I think that might be a way out.
Mhm.
So I let people
I
know,
agree.
Good girl.
and
I
we
agree.
mark it on the map, and I leave like a charcoal imprint on that part of the cave as well.
you take this map and you plot a course that you're going to
Turn
travel
it
through
around.
one of these dark caves, and you're going to try and get from presumably this delta room to a much higher section of the caves, and try and find this shrine itself.
This barely seems like a working mine. Like, it seems like they lived up here. Like more than a mine, I should say.
It is
Maybe they
it
like
is
to
a
mind their own business.
it is a very complex system, and there's a chance that there is a dwelling somewhere in these cave systems for sure. All right. Bonora
I'd say
comes
to
up beside
Bonora,
you.
I say, "Hey, Bony Boy, you are
Hang on, how
head
does Bruno respond to being called Bernie Boy?
He goes, eh.
Bony Boy, you are gonna be head scout with me. Your eyes are the key to us making it through here alive. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Our eyes, not so good. Your eyes, primo fantastico. Absolutely wonderful, magical eyes. You are very important.
Okay. I'll do the work next to you.
Thanks, my
Yeah.
man.
We
I give him a fist
will
bump.
find our way.
I try to make him fist bump me.
He flinches, and then he pushes your hand away.
I say no, like this, and I like
Very
gently grab
sensitive
his arm and like touch it with mine, and like you would teach a kid how to fist bump.
He apprehensively does the motion with you, and then goes, "I don't like it."
See, you're all good. You're all good.
All right. So after another hour of moving through, at which point you have to light another torch halfway through.
Holy moly, I'm bending through these.
Yeah, and
That's kind of the idea of torches.
it is kind
This
of
is
the
true.
idea.
But
And making your
I've only got
way
3 left, by the
through
way.
this labyrinth of caves.
A whole wheelbarrow full.
Ahead, 60 feet ahead of you, as the
What do we see?
cave becomes larger and larger, this tunnel becomes larger and larger, you find a giant stone door.
Ooh.
Very large, very door. With
Any detail on stuff?
So it is uncarved on this side, completely flat stone with 2 handles down lower. It's about 15 foot high and 10
big are
foot
the
wide. Pardon?
Continue.
And it is 2 doors that open outwards or inwards,
Okay.
whichever way you can push or pull it.
Alright. I say,
So that's what you've
Bernora,
come up to.
go and give those doors a little shove.
Bonora steps up to the doors, looks at you with a kind of "you picked me" look, and He
How does that work? How does that look?
so if you're watching the stream, it looks like this. And then he gives a little push and he runs away. Just a little tap and he runs away and he goes, nothing happened. So who's gonna try and open the door next?
I'll come up and give it a big heave ho.
Miguel, with his superior strength and good looks,
You
walks
sure
up
that
to the door
thoughts, bro?
and he pushes before quickly realizing it's a pull door and pulls. And as they slowly edge towards him, daylight breaches through.
Ah, nice.
So you open up these giant doors, and out ahead of you there is what can only be described as a picturesque mountaintop view. And down just ahead, there is a large lake.
Oh.
So there's a large lake about
Oh.
120 feet down and ahead of you. And in the center of that lake, there is a small island with a gazebo in the very center
Right.
of it.
We're actually outside. We've
Yes,
found
you're on the top
fresh
of
air.
the mountain range.
Oh, excellent.
Oh my gosh, is that like a
However-
small patch of grass?
There is no grass, it is snowing.
Ooh.
And on top of that, you can also see a large hole just off the side of the lake where water from the lake, when it rains, which it currently is snowing and raining in this sleety kind of a harsh weather, that water is now flowing down into that hole.
Is the water blue?
The water is crystal blue.
Aha.
I feel like we maybe should have dried off first.
I should have probably put my clothes back on.
I mean, okay, one question.
Mhm.
We took a short rest, which was an hour. It's taken us probably about 2 hours to get from the cave into where we've got, and then out to here. I'm pretty sure in 3 hours, you
Mhm.
would have had the idea to dry our clothes. We would have dried off at least a little bit.
As you've been moving, you have dried yourself out a little bit, but you're still
so
going to
it's
be
not that cold and miserable.
you're still going to be very cold.
Oh yes, of course.
All right. So we can see down into the lake.
Yep.
And in the middle of the lake.
So there's a large staircase from you down to this lakeside, and then in the middle of that big lake, there's a small gazebo on a small island.
Which would
That
be where
must
the
be
shrine.
the shrine.
And there's a hole in the lake where the water is running. Well, not in the lake, but where the water
So
is
you
running
guys-
down.
Are you guys going
What
to
is-
start moving towards that big lake?
Yeah. What can I see?
All right, so
I'm gonna
you're going to
kind of-
cautiously move down.
Yeah, I'm gonna cautiously move down.
As you get closer to the lake,
Ooh, the sound kicked in for me.
you start to hear singing. Soft, eerie singing, emitting from almost nowhere but everywhere at once.
Ben sticks his finger in his ear and jostles it around a bit, tilts his head and tries to slap the water out of his ears, and turns to Red. It's like,
Siren.
your voice is very good in these acoustics.
Thanks.
When she says thanks, it's like, you're not. Miguel, do you hear that sound?
Yeah, that's not me.
No, of course it's not you. I've heard you sing in the shower. You're terrible. Why do you think I'm the bard? Can I?
Does this feel real? Is it? It's not some crazy hijinks.
Does it
pinch
feel
Red.
real in what manner? As in, can you really hear something, or as in?
We're not in a simulation, are we?
I reach to my face and try and remove my VR mask. Turns out this is a sci-fi campaign. We're now converted to open space. You
Yep,
figured
so
out the
you,
ultimate puzzle.
you take off your mask and you can see these bug men with laser guns.
Guys, put the mask back on.
They're onto us again. No, you're not in a simulation.
Can I, with my bardic knowledge and that being tied to Arcana, can I make an acoustic Arcana check to try and
An
locate the source of the...
acoustic Arcana check. Yeah, you can. That's totally fair. Nothing about this is magical, as far as you can tell.
Okay. I'm gonna just like unsling my sling from around my head and just kind of like just swing it casually, semi-casually.
Yep. You're still coming down this really large staircase as you pull out your sling and start slinging softly a rock.
Is
Prepared
the
and ready.
staircase? Is there anything like lining the staircase, or is it just like trees and greenery?
So there is only rock, snow, the staircase, this lake, and the entrance that you've come from, apart from the hole where the water's flowing down. As you get closer to the bottom of the staircase, the lake and the lake area and its immediate surrounds stops having snow fall within it. So now only
Really?
snow and rain is falling outside of it.
That's
Is it-
very
Is it
obvious.
warmer here?
It is not noticeably warmer.
Right.
But it's obvious that it's stopped. The snow has stopped.
I'm gonna check the
Yeah.
wraps on
Not
my
natural
hands.
pattern. I want to roll up a snowball and throw it across that threshold.
You roll up a snowball and you throw it across the threshold. That's a hard sentence.
I want to throw the snowball across the threshold.
And
Maybe just spat at the camera, just good.
the snowball falls into the water and sinks after a loud bloop.
It doesn't melt or do anything weird.
Nothing unusual for a snowball being thrown into a pool of water.
I'm gonna walk forwards and
Um,
continue towards this.
How far? So obviously the lake's pretty big, right? How
Very big,
far
yep.
is it from what's the radius?
So to
So
get
from
to
the
the island in the center from any of the sides, it would be 120 feet.
That's not that super far.
So it's not super far.
But I mean, that's a pretty big lake.
Yeah.
I imagine it goes quite.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so what I want to look at the gazebo more closely. Like, what is it? I mean, I say gazebo, it's probably
So in the center of the lake, there's a small island, and on it is a wooden gazebo, circular or octagonal, as close to circular as it can be. And roughly, you can make out... Actually, roll a perception, and I'll tell you what you can see of the gazebo itself.
Alrighty,
What
perception.
material is the gazebo?
Wooden.
It's wooden, yes.
Wood,
Looks like treated wood. So, inside the gazebo, there seems to be a stone platform about waist or lower chest height,
Mhm.
and nothing else of note. There's wooden walls on all sides except for one, where there's a small wooden staircase. It's slightly elevated off the ground by about a foot, where there's wood lattice underneath. And yeah, that's the gazebo. It's got a roof, slanted.
I look back the way we've come. Can I see, and the way forward? Can I see, like, does this place look completely untouched? Like, I imagine maybe the miners would have come up here at some point if the party had been up here recently, but maybe not.
It looks untouched.
Okay. Well, are we going out to the middle? We've come this far.
The music's getting louder as we go towards it.
There is consistent singing.
Can
Just
I roll?
soft singing?
Can I roll an insight check? Just to like, how do I feel? Do I feel like this is ominous
Mm-hmm.
or peaceful?
Roll insight.
Can I? Yeah. Oh dear.
It's fine. I probably shouldn't have made you roll anyway. Like, you should be able to tell how you feel, because it's not you checking on someone else. So,
But I'm trying to interpret.
so
I suppose.
the overall feeling from this singing that you can hear is a soft and serene kind of feeling with an undertone that makes you feel sad.
Oh.
It's almost heavenly but sad, but depressing.
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna walk out into the middle.
yeah, I'm going straight there. The music is calming to me, being a bard.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna
You're
walk
just gonna
over
walk
the
on
water.
Oh, there's water. How deep?
It's in the middle.
Yeah, okay.
There's a
Sorry.
small island in the middle of a
Yeah,
lake.
How deep is the water when I get to the water's edge?
So you can see that it's shallow at first and cuts off quickly into deeper water, which you can't see to the bottom of.
I'm already wet. I just swim into it.
Mm-hmm. Do you leave
Yeah,
your
there
pack?
There
No,
must be something.
already
here.
wet. I bring it with me.
Okay.
We've already established we had 3 hours of traveling. We got dry.
Alrighty.
I'll leave my pack.
Yeah. You
I'll
don't.
leave my.
I
I'll
would
leave
imagine Bien would leave it, especially for the accordion.
Yeah, it's been too enough.
Can I taste some of the water?
Taste it.
Mhm.
Yep. The water tastes cool and fresh and like it's from a spring, like a natural spring. Absolutely refreshing in taste.
I want to fill up my water skin with some of this.
Mm-hmm. You can do that.
I do.
Didn't we water skin like that?
No, I haven't filled it up with purple water.
Alright, so Bone Nora drops his pack as well, and he's coming with you.
No, I'm just swimming. I probably would I leave my spear behind? I feel like I would. Yeah, I would wrap my sling around my head and pack a couple bullets into my pocket, but I would swim.
Yep.
Without my spear. Risky for a D&D move, but it's just how it
No,
looks.
canonical play is the best kind of play. Have some inspiration.
Yeah, thank you.
So you swim out across the lake together,
Mm-hmm.
and after a short swim, you get to the center on the island. Red,
Mm-hmm.
you are no longer wounded.
Did you take? Yeah, you took it off. I
Mhm.
can't see at all.
I took it off, don't worry.
Cool.
I guess we stand before the shrine.
So you walk up the staircase into the center of the gazebo, and you see this small stone shrine that comes up just above waist height, and there is inscriptions around it in a circle, and in the center there's a cutout where what seems to be a circular kind of object should fit.
Mm-hmm.
Circular kind of object.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anything that would fit in there.
Does this look familiar to me in any way?
The shrine,
The circle and like the cutout bit, or
the cutout bit does seem vaguely familiar.
does it potentially look like something I may have inherited from my mother?
Potentially, you could try that. So you reach to your hip and you take your medallion. And as you do, you look across the lake and see 4 figures standing at the edge. One of them...
Perfectly timed music.
One of them calls out and says, "Hello there!"
Can we all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Who are you?
The one who's calling out says, "Me? Well, I am Jammin."
So he's on that edge.
Yep.
By our stuff. Great.
What's jammin'?
Well, we would like to come over. Just trying not to cause any trouble. Making sure that everyone's aware that, another group of people on a mysterious mountain have arrived.
What is this place?
Well, I don't know. My friends will know. I don't know.
Who are your
One of
friends?
the other ones says... actually, you can't hear him from here. He talks. And you can hear muffled voice, but you can't hear him.
Okay. What do they look like?
One of them is wearing a large black cloak, and he has a feathered hat.
Mm-hmm.
The feather is also black. The other 3 are equipped in what seems to be just black leather armor and some weapons, some backpacks, smaller backpacks than what you guys have, but still some gear of some type. It's hard to make out from this distance.
I'd like to make a history check to see if these are the same black robes that we saw in the tavern when we first entered Takot.
They're definitely not. You do not need a history check for that one.
Okay,
This is not the Octo
They're not-
gang.
Okay.
Good thought, though. Good thought.
Was a good thought.
Hmm.
Alright.
What do you want?
One of them lifts their hand and starts to mutter again.
We can't hear you, Dingus.
The water in between you and him immediately parts and stands aside.
I do a crazy double take.
And the group starts walking in between the water.
I take off my headband and just start swinging it.
Mm-hmm.
In a non-threatening way.
Gotcha.
Like, not above my head, like, around my side.
Mm-hmm. As they
And I finger a bullet in my other hand.
As they get closer, the water continues to part around them until they get to the shoreline. and-
As they get
Yep.
about, let's say, 30 feet from us.
Yep.
I'm gonna say, I think that's far enough.
Well, they can get
What-
to the shore, and then it'll be about 30 foot to the shrine itself.
Or as they get 15 feet into
Mhm.
the water.
As in,
We
we're
can-
still in
we
the
can
water.
talk- Yeah, but they're surrounded by a wall of water, so
Okay.
they're alright.
Yep. They stop. And the one with the cloak says, "You fear us?"
What do they, like, appearance-wise look like? Like, not clothes.
No one turns up.
Appearance
mountain-
wise. Sorry, we'll get back to you in 1 second, Miguel. Appearance wise, the one with the cloak seems to have a long, narrow face. He seems to be human, as far as you can tell. And he is looking very stern.
Okay.
One of the chaps in the leather armor is unable to stop smirking at you and seems to hold more of a ready for anything kind of a pose. One of them is very, very strong, and you can tell by looking at him that he is strong with a K. He is big and beefy. And the fourth one you have lost track of.
Ooh.
Which one was the one that was talking to us? The one in the big cloak?
He was muttering, talking quietly. The one who was talking to you is currently not visible.
Okay, so Jamin is not visible.
Mhm.
Okay,
Um,
The
So
one
I-
who seems more on his feet says, "How we doing?"
I say a wise man is cautious of anyone he does not know.
We'd like to trust you, but the thing you're doing with your feet and the water parting is a little freaky.
He says, "That's fair. The name's Gruss. What are your names?"
Grass
Gruss with a U.
with a U.
With a U.
With a what?
He's the one who can't stop smirking as well. And he looks at you and he says, "Your names? You haven't forgotten them, have you?"
No, we're the brothers Febmaster, and this here is baggage handler Red. Sorry, I'm still freaked out by the water thing.
The tall, cloaked one with the hat says, "The water thing is just a simple spell, my boy."
You cast spells. You shouldn't be afraid of magic. Sorry, Red finds this whole situation with Bein being all dumb just absolutely
But
baffling.
they didn't play an instrument.
hmm
So I'll say again, who are you? What are you doing here? How did you get here?
I'll answer one of your questions. Choose it wisely. Says the tall one in the cloak with the hat. Which of those
I'm
questions
gonna
do you
do an
decide to repeat?
I'm gonna do an insight roll.
Mhm.
I want to work out what their intentions are.
Go for it.
Man, dang it.
Insight is a wisdom check?
Yes, it is.
Cool. Boop.
I've got to be good at something.
His motivations seem difficult to identify. You can tell
Good answer.
you can tell that he's looking very stern and serious and hasn't given you much to go off, to be frank as well. Welcome on in, Jimex. Thank you for the ice cream.
I say, what do you want here?
Just passing through. Would like to look at the shrine. And he starts walking towards you.
Will you hurt us?
I believe I said I'd answer one question.
Said one of his questions.
I feel like, yeah, that's his question. This is a different person asking different questions. And I feel like wanting to know whether you'll hurt us or not
Gruss
should be a
Gruss
freebie.
sparks up and says, "I don't have any intent on hurting you," and he starts walking up confidently. He hops up onto the side of the gazebo and holds out a hand. "How we doing? Welcome on up to the shrine, I guess." Again,
I
I'm
take his
Gruss.
hand and shake Gruss's hand.
He shakes your hand firmly and looks to the others and says, "Quite an interesting crew you've got."
I kind of nod cautiously.
The
kind
other
of
two start
angle
walking
myself.
round to walk into
ang-
the shrine normally.
I try and angle myself to like the side.
In a defensive kind of position.
Yeah.
So the two other mysterious men step up onto the wooden platform, and the man in the hat looks at the shrine and starts to try and read the inscription.
Is it a language that any of us might understand?
Let me check for you.
That's a good question.
Because I was going to ask about that, but then so much else happened.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Celestial. 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 Yes, celestial. I get it, celestial.
It's something.
I wanted. Oh man, I'm trying. So this is interesting. So I'm trying to think how Miguel would kind of react.
Mhm.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of hold Bien, and I'm just gonna kind of pull him towards the edge, away from towards the edge of the gazebo, away from these other two people. I'm gonna try and make sure we're not kind of cornered. I'm just gonna do it like kind of almost without him noticing.
Yeah, and I step back and whisper in Sylvan so Miguel can hear. What do you fear, Miguel? What are you concerned with?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm chatting to you as well.
So the fourth one is still unseen.
Mhm.
Can I do like a broad glance over to see where they
Do a
may have
perception check.
gone? But I'd also like to have a look at you mentioned that they had weapons and gear and stuff on them. I just kind of want to take note of what the others have on them.
All right, so
If anything really interesting, not that I'm going to take it or anything, just anything noteworthy.
you can't tell where Jammin has gone, but
So Jammin is the one that's feared.
Gruss seems to be holding. Oh, sorry, on his belt has a standard short sword. The other, so far unidentified man, has on his back a great axe.
Is that the tall one with the cloak? No, that's the one that does the
That's-
magic.
It's the chonky boy. The guy with the cloak did the magic.
Yes.
So the big,
has it-
strong man has the big, great axe. Surprise, surprise, am I right?
They travel light, which is interesting.
They do have small packs, but they can't be much in them.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of observe them and see what they do. I don't think we can do anything yet. I don't
Miguel
think
and
we
I, standing back and
make any
watching.
move. I mean, unless you
No.
want to try and pickpocket something from one of them.
Don't.
is very appealing.
Red gets this feeling and she just looks over and glares at the two of them as if
As they're talking in Sylvan behind your back.
she just gets spidey tingles and she's like, I know they're up to mischief.
As well as observing these gentlemen, I'm also observing Bo Nora's reaction to them.
Bone Nora seems relatively unaffected because he's hiding behind Red at the moment. He's standing behind Red, looking out from behind her, just kind of like, what's going on here?
Is that he would hide from any stranger that showed up, or is he showing?
He seems apprehensive. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The man at the altar pulls out some paper and some charcoal and places the paper over the altar itself and starts getting a stencil of the altar, including the inscriptions. And when he's done that, he pulls out a small tube and puts the stencil inside.
Yeah.
Seals it up and puts it in his small pack again.
That was a Grass that did that?
No,
That
magic
was
man.
the man with the hat who you've not yet identified.
Grass, we also saw that insignia, an impression. What do you reckon it does?
That's more of a question for Draganth. I don't know anything. Oh, that man with the hat.
Hello, Draganth. How are you doing?
As you've already got Gruss talking, he also says, "This is Schlentz. He doesn't talk much," and he points to the big, strong man.
How do you spell that?
Shlents. They're all very, very traditional human names.
I myself was in a class with 3 different Schlents. Schlent A, Schlent Q, and Schlent S.
Such a common name.
So, Draganth?
Draganth looks up at you.
You seem like a scholarly man like myself. Oh, what do you make of this shrine?
Draganth says, "This is a shrine to Eldath."
Eldath.
Eldath is the goddess of singing waters.
Oh.
So as a
That
bard,
does
you
check
did
out.
learn about her. No one much talks about her. You haven't heard hardly anyone talk about her. Occasionally you'll have the old traditionalist in town who would mention her off and on, but not a very prominent goddess.
So I say, this study of the Lady of Singing Waters is not too common these days. Are you guys big fans of her work?
You could say that. I'm more of a archaeologist.
Archaeologist.
If you would have to put a term on it, I suppose that would be the most accurate.
You know, we actually saw one of Eldath's relics inside the cave. Is there anything particular you're after? We might be able to help you out.
You've found one of Eldath's relics?
Yeah. I think the miners before us found it. But yeah, I guess, you know,
Which
if
relic
it's
are
of
you
interest,
referring to?
is that another game question?
Yeah.
Oh, Bien's totally bluffing.
Okay, yeah. I thought so. I was just double checking.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about?
He's trying to get Draganth a bit more on his side, or to open up a little bit about their purposes, that kind of thing.
Draganth says, if you hand over your relic and it's genuine, I will pay you greatly.
Well, the problem is we don't have it with us currently because
You
it's
found
not
it in a
easy
cave
place.
recently, and you don't have it with you.
Well, it's down a quite deep hole in a chamber filled with water.
Points to the big hole. That's
I point back to the
cave.
Are you folk familiar with purple worms?
Not very closely familiar with. I've heard of them.
We think there's a wee bit of an infestation, and this poor relic's fallen down one of the tremendously long pits. We can show you where. You know, if we could talk shop, and you could tell us a bit more about your.
How did they get here if not from the cave? Is there any other, like, when I was doing a look to see if there were boats or anything, or like when we were walking down, did we see any other paths that were like possible to get here, or like was the only way that we could see from the mines? Because I mean, I feel if he's got magic, he probably could have teleported the four of them there.
Or even flown in.
There is only one perceivable entrance nearby, and that is the big old hole in the wall with the door that you came through. Draganth glances up at you again after looking back down at the pedestal, and he motions with his hand while saying, "Your thoughts are clear to me." And
are they? Because honestly, they're not clear to me most of the time.
You're very well aware that he is now reading your mind.
Oh, okay. So why am I aware? Am I aware of that because of?
You just
Because
like
you can feel the
invading.
probing in your mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I have some
Where
very
did you find
private,
the object?
unwritten song lyrics in my head that I'd rather not be sitting around for.
So you must do a save of wisdoms.
By the way, I'm thinking as hard as I can about Captain Stubbs doing a jig.
Yes, Captain
So
Stubbs.
your surface level thoughts are of Captain Stubbs, and they steal your mind, but still
in the background, Bo Nora goes by in a tutu.
the piercing probes dive deeper into your psyche, and
I know I'm being incepted.
It is soon easily detected that you have lied to him.
Do I know that he knows that I lied to him?
You know he knows, and he knows you know, as he knows you know.
You know that he knows.
But does he know about how I feel about my nose?
The thing about lying is it's a victimless crime. It's a fun way to say things that aren't true. And okay, the Eldath relic.
While the spell is still being cast, he asks you, "What is your intent at this shrine?"
To be honest, we don't know anything about Eldath. We just wanted to sound interesting and make conversation with you, gentlemen.
Do you try and throw his mental presence out, or do you just submit to the fact that you're going to have your mind probed for the next while?
If I've got a chance to resist him, I think Bein would.
Intelligence check. The spell continues. Painfully inside your brain. In a discomforting manner. How did you get up to the shrine?
Bein tries really hard not to think about the time he was with that half-orc girl. Hang on, so does he have any actual influence over me to say the truth or anything? Or
questions verbally directed at the target naturally shape the course of its thoughts.
Okay.
So this is particularly effective as part of interrogation.
Right. I'm just replaying in my head like a supercut of all the times I nearly drowned on the way here.
The spell ends, and he glances at you in a menacing manner and says,
Ooh, brain freeze.
"Lying to a stranger is often dangerous."
I lie to my brother sometimes. That's what you do exclusively with strangers.
He gives you a really judgmental look, and then he glances around to the rest of you and says, "I hope this isn't the standard for the rest of you."
And I say it's good to be cautious meeting new people.
If you have anything of worth to say, I suggest you say it now.
Can you do that mind thingy on Burn Nora here?
I do have that ability.
I have some questions I'd like to ask Burn Nora.
So he glances at each of you individually. Miguel, he stares at you.
I keep my mouth shut.
Red, he stares at you.
Sorry, why is he staring? What did he say?
He wants to know if any of you have any information about the shrine.
No, we just, to be honest, came here thinking that there would be treasure to take.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't realize it was going to be in the middle of a lake. Let's just put it that way.
The group of three then start to step off the shrine and the gazebo as Gruss says, "Whew, that got tense. Sorry about that." I hate when that happens.
I rub my forehead and I'm like, why is it going to be this way? Can't we just help you guys or something?
Oh, he wants to help, says Gruss, clicking his fingers in finger guns.
Like, what?
Hey, I do that
We
too.
didn't know anything about you guys, and you just came here and basically mind banged me. So, to be honest, I feel like you guys should. It's your turn to extend the hospitality branch and cut us some slack and let us in on what you're doing so we can help. Like, I feel like you guys are being the standoffish ones, not us. By the way, it's freezing out
That's
here.
a pretty good argument. Draganth stops on the lowest step, and he turns and he says, "Very well. I suppose there's no harm, and you're clearly capable enough to climb to the tops of these very dangerous mountains. Mayhaps you will be of use at some point. I am searching for the lost relics of these shrines to Eldath. Though I don't see how you'll be of much use if you haven't any information prior to our conversation about Eldath."
I throw the dynamite at him.
What?
Okay.
No, just joking. It's in my pack. It's in my pack. I can't. I left it behind.
This is why I'm at least 30 feet away from the group.
The
Dang
shrine
it, the thing
implodes.
Yeah, that was reckless even for me.
All right.
Why do you seek these relics?
Bien, Miguel just has a brief look of excitement, then disappointment on his face, and then stays. But other than that, stays very still.
Draganth says personal and professional reasons.
Okay, what are
Someone
the
hired you to collect all of the relics
You could say that.
and do what?
Return them.
to
That's
who?
all. To their rightful place.
Here at Adath's shrine?
Yes.
Oh. Wait, you came to her shrine to find the relics to give back to the shrine.
They were here at some time. Surely that's a good spot to start, unless you have a better idea.
Okay.
Ah.
Bien is like, well, Red and Miguel are being sort of standoffish, but to be honest, I don't have any reason to get in these guys' way.
Red's never been standoffish at all.
Okay. Well, you're being cautious, though.
I mean, she has her reasons. They came out of nowhere.
You're just trying to return the relics to the shrine, to Adath.
It would seem a simple task, would it not?
Have you been in contact with her lately?
With the goddess?
Yeah.
He gives a big sigh. He goes,
Sorry, I'm not a religious man.
What? Where do your bardic power? Okay.
They're
Alright.
stemmed in magic, not what's the word?
Emma
Celestial
always said you make your own magic.
powers.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So he calls over Gruss and he says, I tire with talking to these people. You shall be my
can we
envoy
help?
from now. And he goes and steps over and starts studying his inscription, and Gruss sits down on the the side of one of the balustrades and swings his legs and goes, alright, any other questions?
Can we help at all?
Seen any swords? Oh, have any blades?
Funny thing about blades lately.
Mind if I check? And
Check
his fun demeanor pauses for a moment as he says, mind if I check?
I
hold up my
show him
empty
my
blade.
quarter stuff.
I show him the empty handle.
Yeah, my empty hilt blade missing.
So none of you have your spears on you?
No, I point over to the
Oh yeah, all that
my
stuff in the
backpack.
bag. Yeah, just point at the quarter stuff on the side of the bag.
And where's the dagger
one-
that you procured recently?
On my person.
In a belt, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Look, there's actually like a lot of things she actually keeps on her person. Like all her weapons are kept on her person. Like specific things are kept. Like
Gruss.
her bag is mostly used for things like her bedroll and.
So Gruss has got his two finger guns together, pointed at his chin, and he goes, maybe something like that. And he points down at your newly acquired dagger.
Well, I'm already holding up all of the empty handles that I have of all my other blades, and I said I couldn't really hold much more in my hands right now.
He jumps off the balustrade and reaches for the knife.
You never touch someone else's weapon without
Yeah,
asking first.
actually, Ben's gonna step in and when he sees him go for red and like that is not how we handle a lady. And as he grabs Gruss's hand.
Red pulls back, and Bien and Gruss's hands knock into each other as he says,
Our fingers become entangled and we passionately kiss. Not how you handle a lady. Here, let me show you.
and Gruss says, ooh, so touchy, so touchy. You know, if it's not me taking it, it's gonna be him, you know. And he points to Slens. You don't want that. But I'll make you a deal. I'll give you something of mine to hold on to till we meet again, because I'm sure you'll want this back, seeing as it's so precious. Couldn't bear to have a nice young man like handsome young man, dashing young man like myself touch it. But
every adjective he adds, grip on his hand gets a little bit loose.
But he steps back and says, "But if you insist, Flint."
What is your interest in the madam's dagger?
Oh, could be a relic. Never know. Never know which blade's going to be a relic. Then take them all. Tie them all.
This.
Look how intricately that is carved, and look how old this stone bench is. Surely
Yes.
this is not a possession of Eldath's,
Well,
but rather the possession of my associate who has it in her possession.
the relics, we don't know what they look like yet, so look, we'll try a kitchen knife if we have to.
What would you wager as a collateral then?
How about he shuffles through his things and he says,
I want splints.
I do have this, and he holds out a small green shell.
Like a turtle shell or like a seashell?
Like a beetle's shell. I could bear with parting for a time from it, but I'd want it back, as I'm sure you'd want your dagger back. Not the carcass of a beetle. Throw something at me.
Miguel, what do we have to throw at him?
Miguel is still swinging
I
his
throw it.
sling.
Yeah, I throw a sling bullet at him hard.
The shell bursts to life, and this beetle flies up and deflects the stone.
Oh damn, that's cool!
And then it flies back down.
Red?
I have to say, it took me a long time to find something like this.
Would you mind parting with the dagger temporarily?
Convinced.
You do realize that if I part with it, I get the beetle shell. You're not getting your grubby little hand on it.
What if I gave you something for the beetle shell?
What do you have
Gruss,
to offer?
Gruss says,
Anything.
how rude. He has a name, and his name is Mr. Boy. The
Beetle
beetle.
is called Mr. Boy?
Yes, of course it is.
Bien is so enamored with this thing. I'm updating the quest log.
Obtain.
I'll find you something nice. You can have anything in the whole ocean. I'll get it for you.
So, do we have a deal, or does Slents get to
Schlent your kneecap.
to break a deal?
I don't see why you need my blade if you don't know what the relics look like. I'm sure you'll be able to find us again if you ever needed them.
The
I don't
axe,
see why he.
But
the great axe on Slent's back begins to slide off its hilt. Been a long time since I've been able to swing this axe.
Would we
I
be able to
kind of
put a
like-
gentleman's agreement in writing if we agreed to this?
In writing, sure.
Alright.
He looks in his in his pockets again and he goes, "Oh, no, I can't write on that."
Why? What's that other thing you have in your pocket?
Oh, that's a bank bond.
Oh, okay. Well, what does that do?
Well, it's for the bank, obviously. If I get it back and want to cash out my my coin at the bank, well, that's 1,000 platinum, isn't it?
So if we make a formal contract here, that when we cross paths again, we'll switch the items back. What say you, Red?
she looks at Gruss and she just says, well, it was a dagger, wasn't it? This dagger belonged to my mother, and there's
What?
nothing more important to me than my mother. And hold on, you don't know this. You just think I'm pulling a bluff, so you can't say anything.
Yeah, no, I'm confused. I'm like, why on earth is she saying that? Like,
You don't think I can pull a bluff, but I'm telling the truth.
So Gruss then goes, well,
I want to interject
Yep.
here. I look at Red like really hard in the eye, and I kind of like shake my head back and forth, like, "What the hell are you doing?"
So Gruss, while you're doing that, Gruss walks over to Miguel, who's kind of away from the two of you, and he just starts inspecting you manually and going, well, let's see what else you guys may have in terms of blades, and he turns you around gently. He's got...
I don't turn.
He tries to turn you, and then he just walks behind you and goes, do you have any blades on you?
No.
He goes, and pats you on the side twice and goes, well, I guess maybe that's all you have, is it not? Before moving over to Bein.
Is that only blades you're after? Because I'm running a 3-for-1 deal on bat corpses.
So he goes to inspect you and goes, ooh, that's gross. And moves on to do a cursory inspection of Red. And detects something hidden just under your hip belt.
No.
And slides it out.
Excuse me, you
Hang
would
on,
handle
that's
a woman
gotta be
like
a
this.
contested check.
This has got to be valuable.
I don't like this man.
Oh
Did he
yeah,
take the medallion?
yeah. Miguel's crazy.
Now,
He
me
does nothing.
personally, and he swings the medallion and hands it back to you, I've no interest in this frivolous trinket. But Schlentz, he'll take everything. he's a nasty guy. Schlentz looks at Gruss with a really annoyed look. So what do you say? Let's just get this over with. And the beetle crawls onto your arm and looks up at you with little doe eyes. What do you do?
So sorry, is the implication here that we're getting as a group that they're going to take everything anyway, or are they? If we make the deal with the dagger, they'll be content with that.
Yes, that's his current what he's saying. So he's saying that he'll be content with just the blade, as
But if we
that's all he
refuse,
needs.
They'll try and take everything.
Mhm.
Okay.
As he's saying that, behind him, Jammin appears holding your spears, and he says, "Found these. Seem pretty ordinary. Don't know why we'd want them." And he throws them into Gruss's hand, and he goes, "Ooh, bladed. Nice."
I have a question.
Mhm.
Are you the people behind the missing blades across the city?
Oh yes, yeah, that was me. Almost exclusive. I mean, Jammin helped.
What?
Jammin looks at him and goes, like, holds his hands up, like, "Why are you saying this?" And Gruss is like, "Oh, yes, sorry, that was a secret."
How did you do it? Like, honestly, I'm impressed. I've got to know one con man to another. How did you steal every blade in town in one night? Are you some kind of Wintercrouse?
He looks at you and he says, "When a man's determined and he has no other plans for the evening, there's much he can do."
Honestly, I'd love to learn from you.
He then looks at you guys and he says, all right. So, where are we going from here? I'm sure my boss is getting rather tired of waiting."
It's all up to Red.
Are you comfortable with parting with anything other than this dagger?
Not particularly.
I
Are you
think to my,
comfortable with parting with the dagger for the need I remind you, cool beetle?
Cool beetle.
Do you mind if I try something first?
oh no.
Gruss says, like what?
She's going to move back to the shrine and just see if the medallion does anything.
You step over to the
Miguel
shrine
dies inside.
with Gruss as you hold the medallion up, and Gruss looks at you. He looks at the medallion and he looks at the pedestal, and he says, "Try what?"
I don't know. Does it look like it'll work? No, because I feel really stupid now. I feel like too many people have doubted Steph as a real person. Now I don't want to do it anymore.
So, are you gonna try and put it in? It looks like it possibly could fit.
Yes, I would
Do
like
it.
to.
All right. You slowly reach towards the pedestal as Gruss works out what you're doing and immediately makes a grab for the amulet.
I punch him
And
in the back of the head.
slap him in the face.
Everybody roll initiative.
For the record, this action has 1,000% been readied.
I
So,
know
like,
it has.
literally. So it
Yeah, he gets
definitely
attack 100%.
goes. I'm not taking
some
any other
water
crap
for the
on this. This move goes first. This is the most highly wound guy who's been on edge and telling people not to do anything stupid for the last hour. This move lands.
Look, Miguel, you don't know that this is something stupid because Red is genuinely curious and really wants to know. And if these guys have any chance of helping her figure anything out, she's going to take that.
All right.
But she's not about to give up the new fresh dagger she just found that belongs to her mother.
Bonora goes first.
No, he doesn't.
And
yeah.
he kind of looks around in slow motion as he watches
hang on,
Miguel.
hang on. He doesn't. Go first.
As the
Don't worry,
player,
don't worry. It's
No.
all the
He doesn't
Bonora is
go
going to
first.
do is watch what you're doing because he has no idea what's actually happening.
Yeah, no. Just for the record, he doesn't go first.
Alright.
This is not up for discussion. He doesn't go first.
I'm taking off your inspiration. Bonora does not go first.
He doesn't go first.
Miguel goes first.
Yes, he
You've
does.
been bumped up 1 initiative point, and you now go first.
Yes, he does. Thank you.
Miguel.
And he strikes with that already rolled dice.
It's already rolled.
Yeah.
All right. I need to actually put your target on before you can roll.
I can't see anything.
do we have a map for this coming?
We do not have a map for this confrontation. This is theater of the mind.
We can't see the enemy.
So when it's
Sorry,
just
this is
a theater
from
of the mind
behind.
combat,
Yeah.
you get much more generous rule sets from me. So Miguel, make the attack roll.
Yeah, already done. It's there.
It has to be once you've assigned a target. Do you want it to be that same roll? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, 15's not bad.
All right, I can.
All I want to do
I can
is
make that work.
All I want to do is buy time for Red to actually put the medallion in the slot. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to distract him by swinging at him.
Rough, yeah.
All right, you have hit. Would you like to roll damage? Is it lethal or non-lethal?
I like push. I push him aside.
Oh no, this
with
is a
it.
punch.
Yeah.
It can be a punch with a push.
Yeah. Fine. It's a punch to the face.
Yep.
Nice.
Thud!
Damn it.
Right in the side of his head. Gruss.
And by the way, that was from behind.
Gruss has taken a sizable hit to the head and turns back at you with shock. What else do you do for your turn?
I kind of like dance, like kind of duck and weave in between him and Red. Like, so I used it. So my character more, like moves like a
Tries
boxer.
to intercept.
Right, so he smacks him and then ducks and weaves underneath, shoving the arm out of the way in between him and Red. Do I get 2 unarmed strikes actually, or is it only when I'm attacking?
Your
with...
fists do count as a monk weapon.
Yeah, so
So
that
you
means
could
the
use your
other one-
bonus action to strike again.
Yeah.
Would you like to?
Red's just standing there like, whoa. Patience, boys.
I'm gonna feel bad about killing Gross.
Yeah, I think I would punch 2 quick punches really quickly.
Roll the
Yeah.
second.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Actually got Gross between a punch sandwich. There's a punch to the back of the head that pushed him into the punch in the front of the head.
Yeah, that legitimately makes sense. Oh, so close to a 17.
The second attack is a miss.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna die here, you dinguses.
So you punch him in the face, and as he looks back at you with surprise, he sees the second fist coming and jerks his head to the side.
Yep. But I've moved around in between him and Red.
It's now Bone Nora's turn.
Can I yell out something to Bone Nora? Because talking is a free action.
Yeah.
I say, Bone Nora, grab the stuff and bring it over.
The stuff is in...
Specifically our bags, because you need literal advice like that.
No, but the bags that are on the other side of the lake?
Yes.
So you want him to run away from combat?
Yes.
Alright.
And what else is he gonna do with this?
Let's see what Bone Nora decides. Bone Nora dives off the gazebo. And he starts running for the water. Just full pelt. And as he gets to the water's edge, he dives in going, "Ah!" And he's off. That's Bone Nora's turn. Alrighty. The next turn is Draganth. And Draganth turns and looks. Let's see if he can perceive what's happening and work out what is going on. And he is going to... Oh yes, this is what he's going to do. I like this one. I've been waiting to use this one.
Uh-oh.
In fact, Draganth says, I've been waiting to use this one. And he raises both his hands and makes a cupping of his hands together and says, Resilient Sphere. And a burst of energy appears around our good friend Miguel.
Uh-oh.
So, you have to make a dexterity saving throw.
That sounds doable. Oh, not for me.
As you hear this noise, whoop, a sphere of hard energy appears all around you, putting you into a little ball. Like, not a little ball, a big ball. Whoop.
Right.
And you are stuck inside.
You got captured. You
A
now have
big
that
sphere.
other guy's Pokemon.
Yeah, I punch into it.
You cannot, it is not your turn.
Yeah, but
But you
know,
can want to punch into it.
for character,
Oh, okay.
character
So yeah, you beat against it. Dunk, 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 dunk.
Yeah.
Alright. Draganth then walks up to the edge of the gazebo, stating, Stop this. This is more than enough.
I did nothing.
It's Gruss's turn. Gruss has been hit in the face and then pushed by the appearance of a big orb.
He didn't deserve it.
Poor Gruss. Gruss is going to try and snatch that amulet.
No, he isn't.
Oh, he's gonna
Look,
try.
I have a witty line, and you're not gonna take that away from me.
He grabs for the amulet. Roll an athletics or acrobatics check to contest.
Wow, gonna be acrobatics. Damn it, I have a +8 and I rolled a 6.
The amulet breaks off the chain as he whips lightning fast and takes it directly out from your hands.
Red just rolls her eyes and just says, so impatient. It might not even work.
Alright, he is then going to throw the amulet. And he throws it with a backwards flick of his hand towards Draganth. Let's see who catches it.
Can it be a sleight of hand dexterity check?
No. Hold on, my daughter woke up. Give me one moment.
Oops.
I rolled a 7. Jeez. Oh, you rolled a
Oof.
7 too. We just
Oof.
high-fived.
You lost this. Wait, did anything happen? Oh, did you actually put it in the...
No, I was about to,
yeah, okay, so
and
we
then
need to still
Gruss
do that.
decided to get handsy with me.
I know, I'm a bit disappointed in Gruss with that regard.
I just said, let me try something. I'm trying to be helpful.
And you LA appeared on his kid. It would be nice if she could help us out. Unfortunately, I think it's way past her bedtime. It's probably gonna get back. I do. Hey, sorry. Yeah.
When I wrote my backstory, Otter read it, of course, and he just sends me a message. He's like, just a few suggestions. Maybe you had this medallion from your mother, and this is what happened to your pirate ship, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool, do whatever. This is like a half-baked character idea, sure. Look where we are now.
Well, see, I believe his messages to us was, what parts of your characters do you want to incorporate? And I don't know what you said, Tough, but I'm pretty sure we said, like, build everything around Red, and we'll tag along in her.
No, why'd you do that? Because my character was so half-baked.
Because it'll be an epic story when we bond together in a mutual goal in the end.
I don't know if we're ever gonna bond again.
Well, we had some bonding moments tonight.
No,
I
they
don't
were
know
very.
if we're gonna live past this little bit, to be honest.
Okay, so here's the factors we need to consider. One, getting that amulet in the pedestal will do something.
Maybe we don't know.
It might be
I don't know
something
if it's gonna
that
work.
could work as a big distraction. Maybe it unlocks something hidden in the lake. Who knows? It could be a big enough game changer that it's worth it just to see what happens.
Because I wanted
The
to put
other
it
factor, we're surrounded by healing water. We should try to exploit that.
Oh, that's actually a good tip.
We don't
I'm
know
currently in a bubble.
the benefit.
Also, the other factor is that these guys are so much stronger than us.
Yeah.
Do we know that as a fact? Okay,
I mean, one of
the
them's a
spell
pretty
guy's
strong
not good,
spellcaster.
yeah.
One of them looks like he can cut us in half. The other one looks like he's just too snarky. Anything but a friend.
Alright, I love this conversation, by the way.
Uh-oh.
Alrighty. Little Chica has been helped out, and it's back to you guys, who are gonna need more help than she did.
Yeah,
Max would
I
like
was
to
trying
raise
to
the
be
idea that the amulet may be cursed.
Look, it's possible. I was just going to see if it would fit in, and if it worked, I would say, hey, look, maybe we can help each other. I didn't know if this was a thing. I was literally going to do this when you guys turned up, and then we decided to have a conversation,
It's
and
still
then
a
I
good
was just trying to do this, but you know what? We decided to be snarky and try to take my stuff without letting me,
Alright.
a woman, do these things herself. As
You
the
guys-
only woman in the group.
You guys snatch at the amulet as it goes past both of your hands. Maybe if
Oh yeah, you walked
the...
away, but Bein and Red high-fived because we both rolled 7s.
Okay.
Much to Red's dismay.
If only the chain was still attached, you would have been able to catch it.
Ugh.
I'm so mad.
The amulet flings into Draganth's hand. As he takes a look at it, and immediately looks wide-eyed at you.
Red just sighs, and she said, "If you had given me 6 more seconds, you know, we would have seen if it worked. It might not, but
So
by the look on
did my
Draganth's face,
distraction? Did my distraction not actually buy her enough seconds to put it in, like to slam? Because she was already taking it out and putting it down, and so then I moved in and.
He was that quick
yeah.
after the distraction that he was able to get it. He rolled really well. You still have a chance to get this amulet back and slam it into the pedestal.
Red
Well,
would have had to use her turn to do that. So you punched him first, but he had his turn before Red.
Yep.
Basically, she knows that she's not, powerful enough to fight these guys. She
Not
knows
to
that
fight
her
them,
amulet's
but you
now in the
could
hands
potentially
of a really strong wizard.
get the amulet to the pedestal if you want to.
I should have grappled. That's
Well,
I should
what
have
she's
done.
going to do is she's going to look at Draganth, see his wide-eyed look, and recognize that obviously this means something to him.
Mhm.
And she just kind of looks at him and says, "Obviously that means something to you. Do you mind if I put it in as I was going to do? I don't want to fight. I just want to find out what the heck is going on."
He mutters to you, "Never."
Fair enough. Can I try and get the amulet back?
Yes, you can. So it's 15 feet to him,
Yeah.
so you can head over to him if you want.
Yeah.
Alright, so you will be moving away from Gruss, so he'll
Was
get...
Miguel not in between the two of us?
I'm in a bubble.
He's
Yeah,
bubbled. He's bubbled
but-
just beside where Gruss is.
Okay.
Um,
That he stepped in between us.
Bein is in the way though as well. But he is going to try and grab you as you go past. So roll an acrobatics or athletics. We've had a lot of acrobatics and athletics. This
Wait, so Gruss is gonna try and grab Red, or Draganth's gonna try and grab Red?
Gruss is
Okay.
with his reaction.
Wait, so Gruss, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So he grabs your scruff of your neck and you pull free.
Great.
You can move up to Draganth.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
I just say, "That back, please. It's not yours," and try and take it.
Mhm.
I use my manners.
As you reach for the amulet, I want you to roll an athletics or acrobatics if you're going to grab it off him. And the amulet itself begins to weep water just ever so slightly. Oh, hot damn. You've got that amulet.
Yes.
You snatch the amulet from his hands as he looks shocked and furious.
I scared. I don't want to be near the wizard boy.
You've still got more movement, and you've got an action.
Great. Fantastic. Okay, where is Schlent?
Slentz is right next to you now. He has not had time to draw his great axe.
Right.
So that's a
Yes.
plus.
Yes, no
Because
boy.
I'm scared. I don't want to be near them.
You don't want to be near Slentz. No one
No, I
wants
don't
to be
wanna be
near
near anybody.
Slentz. So you're moving back to the pedestal?
I am. Do I want it? Well, obviously, do they want this open now? Do I want to open it for them after he was so rude to me?
He clearly doesn't want you to do it.
Well, in that case, defiantly, I'm gonna do it.
You dart back towards the pedestal, and Slentz tries to grab at you. His fist passes by your face as you duck and slide, and then in front of you before the pedestal
Oh,
is Draganth. His forehead bleeding, and in his hand he is holding a small pocket watch. You didn't think you could get away from me, did you?
So the implication there that he teleported.
Yes. Draganth has just pulled out a pocket watch and clicked it, and then appeared in front of her.
Did he have a move ready?
It may be a thing that he can do as a reaction.
Bien's eyes have never been wider looking at that pocket watch.
Bien, the only one who can do magic in our group, is so baffled by magic in
No,
this
I'm not
instance.
baffled. I need that pocket watch. Like you wouldn't believe. You thought I needed the beagle. I need that pocket watch.
Actually, yeah. Cool.
It is now Draganth's turn. Isn't that curious?
Shouldn't it be Bien's?
Yes,
turn?
it should be Bien's turn.
Oh,
You're a
he.
yuck, Jim.
No. I love this.
Oh, he's time traveled.
Yes, that's why he has a cut on his forehead.
As
Anyway.
the
I'm
circular,
loving this.
as the circular cut on his forehead drips down to his hand holding the pocket watch, he reaches for the amulet.
It's so tight in my hands. He's not getting this off me.
Roll an acrobatics or athletics check before,
Before,
and then I will say after this, if you succeed, you can slam that thing into that pedestal.
Oh, those things.
All right, chat. Give us luck.
Oh damn!
What happened?
Yes.
You grab the amulet. It starts to burst forth with water as you slam it into the pedestal. Boom!
I'm so afraid. Did I do something terrible?
And braces for a rumble.
She's terrified inside, but she just stares into Draganth's eyes, and she's just like, "There's a reason they call me Red."
Is there a cool like magic shockwave when the amulet gets?
No, I feel like I've done something terrible.
Oh, you're doing
The
other
pedestal cracks from top to bottom, and out of it starts pouring water. As you hear the siren song sing clearly through the gap. Draganth holds his neck as if he's in immense amounts of pain, and drops to his knees, screeching. "Ah!" And as he holds his hands off his neck again, you see gills.
Oh. Weird.
He
He's a Cthulhu.
He pushes back to his feet, and he staggers back from the pedestal, almost falling down the stairs as he gets to the bottom of them, breathing heavily. He is clearly very hurt from what just happened to his body. The soft singing calls forth, and you hear a voice, a disembodied voice, that comes from the pedestal itself. A feminine voice.
All of us?
All of
Just
you.
Red.
You are my champion. I call you to reclaim what I have lost and recover me to my shrine. I am Eldath, the goddess of singing waters, and I need your help. What do
Well,
you
I
do?
never say no to a lady.
Can I hear from inside the bubble?
Yes, but it's muffled. And I need your help.
I Red is kind of a little bit speechless, but she kind of this happens in slow motion. She glances around at everybody around her, all the bad guys, her friends, question mark, and like, hears this voice that says like, "You are my champion. I call you to reclaim the lost and recover to my shrine." Like, obviously that's what they were pretending to do, or something. I don't know, but those guys are lying. And I guess she says, I'm at your service.
Pardon?
She says, "I am at your service." But like in a non-Steph being very excited way. More reverent.
The voice says one more thing to you before the singing stops altogether. And this final sentence you hear, "Go forth and find my relics. and be swift, for there are forces far stronger and more cunning than you at play. I will be with you.
Sorry, boys. Looks like Eldath picked us as our backup singers.
The singing stops, and the group who you assailed, who also assailed you, and it was a big old mess, all start to congregate at the bottom of the stairs and start trying to help their injured boss away.
Hang on, when am I getting my action?
You can take actions during this, so
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we out of combat or are we still in combat?
so they have stopped attacking entirely. They are just trying to get to their boss. So you can make actions within this. This is kind of like a flexible role-playing scenario where
Is he-
time can be altered just a little bit
Yeah.
on either side.
Is Draganth prone, having fallen over, struggling to breathe?
He was, for a time there, yes.
Am I able to try and mage hand that clock off of him?
You want to try and steal his pocket watch? I don't
Whatever will
think.
be more
Can Mage
effective.
Hand
It
grab?
can grab and retrieve something. Usually it's not strong enough to resist like someone fighting back, but if he's been clutching his neck, breathing, I'm assuming that's going to be quite a full body experience that may have lowered his guard enough to grab it at an opportune moment.
I'll give you a try.
All right. What would make more sense? Would it make more sense for me to dive and physically grab it, or
You have
is
a
mage
lot
hand
better chance
acceptable?
diving and physically grabbing it.
All right. As soon as I guess the voice stopped, but his guard was still lowered before everyone swooped in, Bien's gonna go for a massive dive to grab that pocket watch.
Mhm. All right.
And sleight of hand.
I don't think that's a sneaky kind of a move.
It doesn't have to be sneaky. It's the finesse of jangling it out of his hand.
Grapple.
Or acrobatics. I'll take an acrobatics if I can't do sleight of hand.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Okay. Oh. Anyone want to assist me somehow?
Am I still in the bubble?
Yeah.
You probably can't.
Is Miguel still in his sphere?
Am I being assisted by Eldath's distraction?
Miguel is still bubbled. Yes.
I'm never taking my bag off. I thought this one time I could trust you. Alright, here we go.
Oh yeah, because you haven't even got your ingredient, have you?
No!
All right.
Sorry, bud.
For the
Not all of
spear,
us can
Miguel!
Miguel's in a bubble. I would like to try and help Miguel out of the bubble.
You reach and grab his hand and the watch simultaneously, and in the struggle,
I
You
bite
click-
his hand up.
you click the top accidentally,
No!
and everything around you two stops. And you're stuck in a moment with him as he looks up at you. And he says, "Release the button." And you hear the ticking of the stopwatch.
Do I have to release the button?
Nope.
Oh gosh.
So
Okay.
you've grabbed it, you've clicked the button accidentally, it's in his hand and
Presumably-
your hand.
The longer I hold it, the more we're gonna reset.
All the more time passes.
So as you look at Draganth,
Mm-hmm.
you see
Is-
hovering in front of his face is a small ethereal clock, but instead of a little hand on a clock going round, it's a dagger.
I don't know what this means.
I ain't gonna help you, Ben.
Oh, I
You-
know what this means.
And in
situation,
your
I am
peripheral
loving it.
vision, just out of sight of your peripheral vision on the top of your line of sight, you can see another ticking little clock above your forehead.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna give you
All
any
right,
opinion.
All right. Okay. I'm concerned that something bad is happening to my life force.
Mhm.
Whilst this happens, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lean forward to Draganth, doing this kind of like as minimal time as possible, and I'm gonna go right up to his gills, and I'm going to exhale as much carbon dioxide as I can into his gills, watching
That is awful.
watching how much of the clock has left and trying to gauge that against how I'm feeling, and to see if that accelerates the clock, and if that's becoming too risky for my own safety, then I'm gonna release the button.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm trying to choke him out by kissing his gills.
All right. Roll an attack, an improvised attack, I guess.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Is it strength that I'm exhaling?
It's Constitution based
Oh no.
because it's a breath weapon.
You'll lose Bein.
Do I have advantage?
It's
'Cause
been
he's
nice knowing
forward
you.
and time has stopped.
Bein's gonna die. Miguel's
Yes.
stuck in a bubble. Looks like it's just me and Eldad.
I'll give you advantage. He is not.
So
He's in a disadvantaged position, so yes.
what I'm assuming as a player is that he's more wounded and has less time on his clock than I do. Do I know that as a player?
No, I'm not going to tell you anything like that. I will say you do get you get advantage with what you've said. So
Can I feel anything of my clock, or like, can I feel life force being affected or anything?
No,
or is it I
nothing at all.
can't see my own clock?
You can't see it.
Okay. I'm gonna be tick.
You are very stressful, Benjamin.
Oh my god! Yes!
That is brutal. You breathe into his neck with all your force of lungs, and he screams at you right in your ear, just ah! Just a pain bridled scream. What do you do next?
What's the clock looking like on his forehead?
It's still ticking second by second. You pull at the clock, he pulls at the clock, it stays in your hands.
Okay.
It is his turn.
Oh, okay.
He does not like this at all. He is going to try and take that clock off you.
Okay. Am I contesting him with acrobatics?
Yes.
Oh! Damn it.
The stopwatch pulls out of your hand, and the button on the top is released, and you see, just before time begins anew, the dagger turn inwards and stab into his head.
Oh.
You also feel a dagger stab inwards to your forehead.
Ah!
Tiny little time dagger. And that time dagger does 2 damage to you.
Okay, that's fine.
Alright, so you see him jump to the ground, grab the watch, and then his forehead bursts into blood, and the two of them are backing away from each other, and he goes down, and the same thing happens as would have happened, which is his crew move over to him and start defensively sort of moving around him and trying to get him out of the way of you. What do you do next? Are you gonna let them scurry on off?
Can I die for the clock again?
No.
You can, but Slents is in the way.
Slants is in the way.
But he knows.
And
it's gonna
Slents now has his great axe out, which he did not before.
Oh man, I'm so mad.
I'm gonna try and help Miguel out.
happen. I'm in a bubble.
Dunk, dunk, dunk. Alright, so they start scurrying off towards the shore. And Jammin drops down from the ceiling and starts walking out casually. Which none of you saw him there until now. He just goes dunk and gives you all a little bit of a fright and then walks off.
I'm gonna turn around and walk away, but I'm gonna one last mage hand at the clock just in case.
Alright, go for it.
Well, there's no roll. The hand's just gonna go over and try and grab the clock.
The watch, the little pocket watch, the chain goes tug tug, and then you see this ethereal hand go and just disappear. Alright, so they go off to the water and they all start swimming back across. As they leave,
Does
Gruss,
the water hurt them or have any positive effect on them?
it is difficult to tell from where you're at.
Okay.
Gruss, before he gets in the water, says, "Alright, be seeing you."
Could you return those blades?
See you later. And he jumps into the water.
Wait, oh no, I don't know that. Don't worry.
And they swim off to the other side as Bone Nora makes it back with all your packs. I swallowed a lot of water. Then he drops the packs down on the shore.
Actually, I do know that. Can I call out before Gruss goes? Can I say, wait? Oh, sorry, I'm calling out too loud in real life. Wait, Gruss, can we at least have one more of those parasols?
Gruss turns while swimming and backstrokes and says, "Oh yeah, come on down to... Oh, no, you've gotten enough secrets out of me." And he swims again. And you see the rest of his crew kind of like give him another look. But yeah, they're off. They're heading off. Alright, so you guys are at the shrine. You have returned this medallion to the shrine, and the medallion has been consumed by the shrine itself. And you have you successfully stole the medallion off them after they took it from you. So it was quite a successful little encounter. But you are in the middle of a lake on the top of the Blue Mountain Range with a giant purple worm maybe about, and there's there's a big problem that you still have to solve. Being the water, the purple water. So what do you guys want to do? Floor is yours.
Am I still in the bubble?
Yeah, for now, yes, actually.
Is it like unbreakable or?
You can try and break it.
Yeah, I would like to try and.
Yeah, I would like to try.
Is it like a sphere where Miguel can still move around in it, or is he like?
Oh, you can roll him around for sure.
Okay, so it's just a
Ball.
Yeah, it's a little Zorb ball with no entrances.
Can I breathe?
Yep, you can breathe.
I don't think you have the ornate dagger now, do you?
No, you still have it. They didn't get it.
Oh.
They retreated without getting the dagger. So you did everything you set out to do in that combat encounter, which is very impressive, I might add.
so stressful.
I can't believe how well it went for you.
Oh man, I'm so tense. You have no idea.
Alright.
Why is he trying to take these away from me when he just gave them to me?
Well, you had the choice to fight for them or to give them up.
Well,
though you didn't get. You got Mr. Boy.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
he's on your arm still.
He was on my arm. I didn't. I had a
you
thought.
got Mr. Boy and
there was a moment when I was like, "Oh hey," and then I was like, "I shouldn't mention that."
So you're helping Gruff? Yeah. So Bein turns around super dejected, like losing that clock was like world challenge him. Sure, they were successful, but like they came here for offerings, no offerings. They were offered magic items. He turns around. Can I make a perception check to see if I see Mr. Boy on Red's arm?
So Mr. Boy is actually quite excited at the moment. He's wriggling around, ready for action.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's just chilling on. It's like a buckler sized. Like if it was a beetle that was the size of a buckler, you could say it's a buckler beetle in the player's handbook as an item.
Bien sees this and is so excited, he dives. He does like a roll dive to snatch it off of Red's arm.
Oh no!
Can I use the beetle to deflect the end?
You're distracted helping Miguel.
No, you can't use the beetle to deflect it. I mean, canonically you can, but not mechanically.
I mean,
Yeah.
did my super punch free me from the bubble?
I feel like those guys were the kinds of people that were like potential bad guys, potential allies who would then become bad guys, and I don't know how I feel about all of this because they seem to have a lot of information that I now have no information. But now I'm apparently a god champion, and I really just wanted to talk to them and be helpful to them. But then they decided that they were going to attack me, and then Miguel attacked them, and I was really just wanting to be helpful, and I didn't want them to take my mother's things. And now what the heck, Mom?
It was an intricate web of intentions, was it not? The sphere is resistant, but you are now rolling. Just ever so slightly rolling.
Wait, so he's fallen over and is rolling.
No, he's gone donk, and it started going. And he's just walking with it. You can push back against it and kind of stabilize yourself, but you have a tiny bit of agency inside the sphere.
Did I get Mr. Boy?
No.
I
didn't know I was grabbing my stuff.
From Epic Dive Roll.
You did not get Mr. Boy.
What? I just tumbled onto the ground?
You dove at Mr. Boy, and you instead caught the railing as she darted back.
Hands off my stuff.
Can I
said it
please,
once,
please,
I'll say
you
it
can have
again.
anything. I will get you any treasure across the entire ocean.
I feel like this is going to be a common theme. Every time you get a new shiny, Bein is going to be like, oh, I must have this new shiny. This old one is worthless to me.
Miguel, I'm going to help you in a second. What do you want?
So after a couple of minutes of you guys arguing over the bug, the sphere goes boop and just pops.
Nice.
And Miguel is free. Unharmed and free.
Where? So the others, did they like disappear via magic? Did
So
they
they're
walk
now
out?
currently on the other side of the lake, and Draganth is drawing in the snow.
Yeah. Okay. Teleportation circle.
Mayhaps.
Possibly. Red might not know that information. This is so hard.
So what are you guys gonna do?
Has Bernor brought our stuff over?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
It's strange.
Gonna re-gear. Bien's just gonna quickly pull out a piece of parchment and scroll on it. I owe you one magic item? Question mark. Show it to Red.
Nope. She has her hand out. Bien's so desperately begging her for this. Does he put it in her hand?
Put what in it?
The paper.
Yes.
She just pockets the paper.
Mr. Boy?
Nothing.
A deal's a deal!
Alright, so we'll leave it there as the group bicker over a friendly little bug who will no doubt be of great service, but not of great service to Gruss, who has lost one of his most prized possessions and may not yet realize it. And on top of that, perhaps you've made an enemy, perhaps you've made an acquaintance. What was that, sorry?
I said, I feel like I'm going to die.
Perhaps you've made an enemy, perhaps you've made an acquaintance in the group who is led by Draganth. As they finish their drawing on the ground, you see on the back of Draganth's big cloak is an embroidered black lotus flower.
Dun, dun, dun.
and then the circle engulfs them in energy, and they disappear.
Red just waves with the bug on her arm.
As Gruss looks at you, and he was already waving too, he goes, "Hey, poop, gone." And off in the distance, you think you hear, "Mr. Boy."
It just comes to us on the wind.
And we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for playing, my lovely players. It's been a pleasure as always. And anyone who's
very
tuned
Thank you.
on in, thank you for being here. It is a pleasure to be able to bring this campaign out into the public and to have it enjoyed by you guys as well. We do play every Friday or Saturday AEDT time, which is Australian time. I know that's pretty strange, but that's how we do. And we will catch you guys next time. Coming back so that you can just want to say.
I just want to say, trying to force breathe oxygen into a merman in a time paradox may be the new weirdest thing I've ever done in a D&D game.
Awesome. Alrighty.
So thank you for that.
Catch you later, everybody.
I never was one for a drinking and dance, but I lived by the dice and the cards in my hands. But the goddess of fortune seemed loath of the sea. There were none of the crew who was poorer than me.